Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the McDonCast, the funnest podcast in town.
Only podcast around.
That's right, we are back. It's been probably 2 months, I guess, since Tucker didn't upload the last episode. So we're
Okay.
134 again. There is a secret
Okay, but
134 that will never ever be seen.
So it's been a while. Really? I've just been busy.
Yeah, and my
we haven't
class
been able to
schedule this
record.
month has been insane, so we just have not had any time
No.
to record in the last
I've
month. or
I've
so.
had no time to do anything, if I'm being quite honest. There's like 6 major television shows airing at the moment, and I've seen like 2 of them. There's a bunch of movies I want to see that I haven't seen.
Yeah, and
We never saw Monkey Man.
yeah, we wanted to see Monkey Man. We saw something stupid instead. What
We
did we
saw
watch?
Civil War,
Yeah,
a movie I
that was
kind of
okay.
yeah.
but I would have rather seen.
Did you ever see? I saw Godzilla Kong. Did you ever see?
I
you
didn't
never
see
saw
that. I
one?
watched Invincible. I watched Bethesda.
I saw Invincible.
I watched Fallout. I
I haven't
watched.
seen Fallout.
I'm caught up on Bad Batch.
I
Caught up on X-Men. I think that's everything. What other? Oh, I'm caught up on
Shogun's
Shogun.
Still going. I'm not. I'm like.
There's only 1 episode left for
I'm
Shogun.
like 3 episodes into Shogun. I'm not gonna catch up before the finale.
Shogun's probably the best of all those shows that's there.
You know what I did watch?
What did you
know what I've
watch?
seen all of? I watched all 4. Conan O'Brien has a series of travel specials.
Why?
I watched
Why do you
all 4
only
of
watch the
those.
most like Why?
I was eating pizza earlier.
And you were like, I'll spend 4 hours
I
watching
was
this.
waiting. I was thinking, let's watch this. It was not 4 hours. It was shorter than that.
I was assuming each one was 4 hours.
No, they're like, but they're quite good. I watched the first episode. This is just gonna be. We're just gonna list.
Well,
them
okay,
in.
I'll give you guys a brief rundown. This might not be fully accurate because Tucker didn't want to commit to the docket today. But we got a bunch of trailers. We got like 1 million trailers for like a bunch of different things. We got a bunch of Star Wars news as well. Again, this is like we're catching up on a month worth of news here. So we're kind of aggregating some topics here. This is probably going to be a longer episode. One Punch Man news, which is we don't get that very often. Only like once every 4 years do we have a One Punch Man news.
I care.
And then we got Epic Games Fortnite news because they are bad at keeping secrets, I guess.
Honestly, I was like, I kind of want to maybe redo how the show works, but I was kind of like, I just kind of want to yap. It's been a while.
Yeah, we got so much to talk about.
I've got, this is what the reason, again, I'll restate. This is like our thesis statement for this thing.
We have a thesis statement.
The reason we do this is because if I don't,
It's to protect everyone else.
it's to protect the people I know in real life from me doing this to them.
Our brains are like media
I was-
biohazards that need to be quarantined into the internet.
I was talking to a friend about this, about how like, and I was trying to explain because they were like, how do you just like randomly pull like celebrity names and
Yeah.
old movies out of thin air? And I was like, okay, the part of your brain that retains like useful information, like math, science, reading, stuff like that, that part of your brain, my brain is just filled with like Star Trek movie titles where like that information goes.
Yeah, see, you have like all the celebrity like names and like going ons. Mine is like all of the fictional lore for every show I've ever
Yeah,
seen.
see, like that's this is not what I'm trying to say is this is like weird therapy.
Yeah, when I'm hanging out with my friends in college, like one of them will be like, "Hey Sam, who is this Star Wars guy? He doesn't make any sense." And I'm like, "Oh, well, sit down. Here's a 2-hour-long history
See,
lesson
yeah.
on this random character."
You
that
do
you
that,
Don't care
I'll
about.
just be like, "Oh, Cars, the movie Cars came out in 2006," and people will just be like, "Why do you know that?" And I never have a good reason.
I had like a 2-hour-long debate with some of my friends about who would win between Mark Grayson and Omni-Man versus The Incredibles. Like who would
Invincible and
we agreed that like
Omni-Man would just
we
mop the
agreed
floor
right
with
off
him
the bat that
instantly.
like 80% of the time the Invincibles
Okay,
die immediately.
Well, hold on. That was what we're gonna do.
yeah, see, now
Hold
we're
on.
going into it.
If Violet can do
That's exact. Yeah, we
the
went to the exact
Invisible
same...
Woman thing
Yeah, where
to
bubbles in their
Viltrumites, where
heads.
she just where she can just explode them internally.
Yeah, that's what we were. That's what. So the contingency that we came up with for like how they could possibly pull off a win was Dash is just moving Violet around in the same way that, so you know how at the beginning of the Omni-Man fight, like Red Rush was just like moving them out of his way,
Yeah.
and that was working until he just like went on offense and died immediately because he's an idiot.
Dash isn't that fast though.
Well, we assume he's like around the same speed as Red
No,
Rush.
like in Incredibles, he's much slower.
We
than,
know
like,
he can move at
a lot of
least
other
about
speedsters.
60 feet in less than a second because of that, or I guess 120 feet in less than a second because of that clip where the school's recording him. He's able to get to the desk and
That's
back to
true,
his
yeah.
seat before the frame of the camera catches. I'm assuming it's a 60 frames per second camera. So he can move at least 120 feet in less than a second. So that's comparable to Red Rush.
Remember what I said about our brains being broken?
So we agreed that like if he
That's what we apply our math knowledge for.
if he just moves Violet around, we assume Elastigirl can kind of do the same thing. Martian,
Elastigirl's cooked.
well, no, she could. Okay, no, so Elastigirl has two things going for her. One, she can do that thing that Martian Man did, where like she can wrap around him.
Yeah, but Omni-Man just...
But that was because he had like a weak point. She doesn't have like a one.
Well, it's
spot.
her like face.
But hang on, if she's not stretched to her maximum, she can absorb kinetic energy, and all Viltrumites can really do
The
is
dog's trying to
punch.
figure out a way to get out.
So if she just doesn't stretch herself all the way out, she's like pseudo invincible.
Okay, but I feel like if she gets around Omni-Man, right?
if she does that, she'll die.
But if she does that, like then Invincible can just come in and just rip her throat off.
Yeah, so the way that they would have to kill her was like one of them would have to grab one side and one of them would have to grab the other, and they just
Yeah.
that would take like both.
Here's
of them.
what would happen. Mr. Incredible is dead instantly.
Well, hang on.
Because he would just, but like theoretically, like say they just appear in like two ends of a football stadium and they're just attacking each other. Like Mr. Incredible, his first thing would just be, I'm just gonna run up and punch them.
Okay, so
Like he would do that. And
this
just
is
die.
the specific scenario that we came up with in order to like make the debate make more sense. So the Guardians of the Globe, dead, right?
Yeah.
This is one of those universes where Mark is also evil, right? So the Cecil calls in. He calls in the Incredibles. He's like, "Yo, I got a mission for you. These guys are taking over. We're calling in the Incredibles, right?" So he sends it. So they know all of their abilities and stuff. So they have like some time to plan.
Yeah.
So
they do have prep time and they're aware.
They have a little
of
bit
who
of
they
prep
are.
time.
Okay.
Yeah. So Mr. Incredible is not particularly durable. I mean, he's pretty durable. He fought against those like big robots and like was basically fine. But he is ridiculously strong. Like he has some feats of strength that are just like
I don't
kind of
know.
loony. He threw the like 1,000-ton robot
But
into a
he like kind of
volcano,
struggled to do that.
but he still did.
Like Omni-Man is
Omni-Man is much stronger.
much stronger.
But Mark is probably not a huge degree
Mark's
stronger.
he's probably still strong.
But
Like
okay,
Mr. Incredible
Mark got like
wheezes to lift cars.
no, he picked up that car like without even trying by accident when he was in his front yard. So if he just bear hugs Mark, he could probably restrain him for long enough for Violet to just pop.
See, yeah, that's the thing. Is
Violet is the only one that I think can kill them.
Mrs. Incredible and Mr. Incredible, Elastigirl and Mr. Incredible would have to,
They would have to restrain them.
restrain them long enough for Violet to do that.
I think there's like a 20%
If that would
chance they
even
could do
work. Because they might just be so because Viltrumites are like ridiculously indestructible.
that. Well, Mark got like almost killed by the lion guy.
But
And
Mark is also not.
And also he got the crap beat out of him by like the rock dude.
They could maybe get Mark. Omni-Man would be the problem.
Omni-Man would be a lot more difficult, but I think that if they restrain them, Violet, because I don't know if there's really anything the Viltrumites can do about having their brains pop. Like they might,
Yeah. See,
their cells might still be alive, but I don't know if they would like.
but the
be
other
able to
factor is
survive that.
is the characters themselves. Like the Incredibles wouldn't kill them,
We assume again,
especially Violet.
We assumed for the sake of the debate, like they have to be able to, they're able to kill each other.
But I feel like Violet would spend too long having like a mental crisis over murder.
Yeah, if we're going on like their characters, but I'm saying like with their abilities, could they feasibly pull it off?
Yeah, that's what they would have to do. Because that would be their only hope. Because like in a battle of pure strength, like no, Omni-Man would just
Omni-Man
solo
Omni-Man could
them.
kill all of them by himself.
Omni-Man
like,
solos most.
I would say like in 50% of situations, Omni-Man could take care of them all, like
I think
without any effort
Like
whatsoever.
I think he could. I think the Avengers would beat him up.
the Avengers could
Because
probably...
I feel like Thor and Hulk could do it. Because but if you think about it, like in Invincible, right? Like roided up Alan the Alien
it's probably about as strong
can
as the
make
Hulk.
Viltrumites bleed by hitting
Yeah.
them. So like, and Hulk is stronger than that. So I'm guessing like him and Thor could probably kill Omni-Man, and then like the Justice League, Superman could easily beat up Omni-Man.
Yeah, but yeah, that's not really
him
like
and probably Wonder Woman and probably Martian Manhunter could all
Wonder Woman and Superman by themselves. Superman honestly by himself could probably
could
take
kill
the
him
world.
and Invincible. Yeah, very easily.
I don't know if it would. I don't know very easily. I feel like they would make him sweat a little bit, but like again, I'm assuming like we're writing the comic book would have to be interesting, so like they'd make him bleed a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I feel like just the fact because Omni-Man is just the flight and super speed.
Yeah,
I feel like because Superman has more than that, like that would just automatically put him at an advantage.
yeah. I mean, there was the one fight against the dude where he like laser scalpels
and
his brain,
Superman,
so.
if Superman can just because the Viltrumites also can't breathe in space.
Yeah, they can.
Or
I mean,
Mark can.
They can't, but they functionally can.
But if Superman could get him close to the sun, like he's just cooked.
No, because Omni-Man was able to escape a black hole with like basically not even.
But also, but like the sun like Superman up. Like Omni-Man's capped. Like he can't like. There's nothing that makes him stronger for a fight. Superman can do stuff that like gives him support.
Yeah, to like boost himself.
To boost himself up.
But I'm saying like if Superman just throws Omni-Man into the sun, I don't know if that would actually work.
Because the famous Twitter fight is always like Homelander, Omni-Man, Superman, who wins?
Superman, clear. It's not.
Homelander dies in 5 minutes.
Homelander dies immediately. Omni-Man lasts like
the
5
fight
minutes,
is Omni-Man,
maybe.
Superman, and the Superman wins. Anyway, that's fun.
Yeah, so we had that debate. Anyway, that's why we have to do this podcast because otherwise we'll do that.
Because otherwise we'll do that in public to normal people.
All right, let's talk about our trailer. Do we have any trailers? What trailers do we have?
I mean, a bunch of trailers have come out.
Yeah, but like, which one of these do we actually want to talk about?
Well,
I don't really care about the Penguin that much.
They did it. There was a trailer.
I don't care about Beetlejuice or the Crow.
You don't care about Beetlejuice?
No, I've
Beetlejuice.
Never in my life have I cared about Beetlejuice.
Have you seen Beetlejuice?
No.
Hey, you're gonna have to watch it because this is gonna come out. And this is probably gonna be pretty good.
I don't care.
Jenna Ortega.
Shoot.
Got him. Got him.
I don't know. I honestly don't really care about.
Michael Keaton's back. He's old.
Honestly, I don't understand the Michael Keaton hype. Like he was
what?
You like okay? He's very good. Like
he's Mr. Mom.
He's always good, but like, it's when he comes back to do roles that people like. Oh my God, he's the best version. He's so good. He's best. He's best at every actor. I'm like, okay. I don't know. I don't get the hype.
I think you're talking particularly about
I think it's more just
Batman.
because he keeps coming back to do roles he did like 30 years ago.
He just did Batman and then
this.
But that's it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, he's not coming back to do.
It's more of a two Nichols situation, but you know.
It's weird that it happened twice.
Yeah.
But this is, in all likelihood, this is probably going to be better than The Flash. Fingers crossed. It's
very hard to not be better.
All they have to do is not find a dead actor and resurrect their corpse with a computer AI. And they're automatically on a.
Well, see, I don't even mind if they do that. It's more like
I mind if they do that.
An actor that
don't do that.
Hang on, an actor that franchise explicitly basically killed.
Yes,
that's bad. But like, the way I rationalize it, if that actor would have done that if they were alive, then like I don't find it as big. Like that's why I didn't really have a problem with Princess Leia in Star Wars because I was like, she would have done that. There's no way she wouldn't. Ghostbusters is debatable, but he probably would have done it. So like, I don't mind that much. Yeah, that's my opinion on that. Like if we can agree that actor would have probably done that, it's fine.
For me, the main problem is that George Reeves had like no like the rest of those like Harold Ramis, you go to his
family
daughter,
could sign off on
stuff
it.
like that, but like
yeah,
George
that one
Reeves
was
had
super
nobody,
screwed up. Yeah,
and they definitely were just like, who's gonna stop us? And they just did it.
Yeah, no, that was messed up. But I'm talking just the most messed up version is not like the whole. You know, you can't use that to judge the entire idea of the technology.
I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of it because it always feels wrong.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
I mean, it's always going to look weird.
It's always going to be the uncanny valley thing. And it's always going to be the thing of like, well, that's not really them.
Yeah.
That's like the idea of them being there.
Again, if it's like a cameo, I don't mind as much. It was more of a problem in Star Wars just because she was actually was in the movie or like a large portion of the movie.
Are you talking about Leia?
Yeah.
Well, they never brought her back like with.
They digitally replaced some of her clothes.
For 9, what they did was they just took old footage and they just
they digitally replaced her clothes.
And they replaced her clothes, but they didn't like create new footage with like a model of her face.
Well, they did for Rogue One.
They did that for Tarkin in Rogue One.
Well, they also did it for her in Rogue One.
Rogue One, they digitally. I don't know if they deep faked her.
I think they masked her onto someone else, but it was not.
I think
it was her fake face.
But that was at least hers, and that was for like a second.
Yeah, So it wasn't too bad. But
Tarkin
anyway,
in that movie was much worse because they kept coming back to him, and he looked like the problem with Tarkin was he looked like a cartoon.
well, it's because okay,
Like they lit him weird.
they lit him weird, and that shot just went on for too long. Where it was like a really big close up on his face. Like if you're gonna do that, you have to plan the scene around you doing that. You don't want to have a big close up on his face because then you're gonna see the flaws in the technology. If you're gonna do that, if they had done that and it was like a wide shot of the room and he was like yelling at everyone in the room from like the back, no one would have cared because you wouldn't have been able to tell.
I don't understand why. Can you not just write around them being in it? Like, is it that hard?
I mean, yeah, he didn't need to be in the movie.
He didn't need to be in it at all. I mean, they had Vader. Just replace him with talking to Tarkin to talking to Vader again. Like
he already talked to Vader.
I know. Just have all those scenes be Vader. You don't need it to be Tarkin. Or if you're gonna have it be Tarkin, like have him appear via hologram, so it has like a reason to look weird. Having him appear in person was just like
they just wanted to flex that they could do it. That was the real.
Reason. But like,
all right. But what do we have to talk? Okay, Transformers 1. I haven't seen the trailer, but I saw some clips of it. It looks
fine.
Like the animation looks nice.
It looks like a really expensive Transformers cartoon show.
It looks like Transformers Prime if you like 400x the budget.
Yeah, because that show was cheapo because it was on the Hub network.
Yeah,
but
the writing was so good, but it's so hard to rewatch.
You can't rewatch it.
It's got X-Men syndrome, where like the writing is really good, but the animation is so bad it makes it hard to watch.
At least the X-Men one, like it's all 2D,
so it ages a little better.
The detail and the drawings is all fine. It's just the jankiness
the movement is gross.
Of the transfer.
Yeah.
But like Prime, it's like on a base level, everything is so like bland and shapeless.
You caught up with X-Men, right?
I'm one episode behind. I've gotten to episode 5.
The most recent episode 6, I was very confused like most of the episode. Because apparently Professor X is like alive and in outer space.
Variant Comics did a recap of
why is he in outer space?
Variant Comics did a recap of the original cartoon that I watched before the new one.
I googled it while I was watching the episode and figured it out, but I was like, huh?
It's confusing. I think mostly because they say he's dead for like the first 5 episodes. Like everyone says he's dead. Even all the characters know he isn't dead.
And they have committed now to, I guess, very much spoilers for X-Men 97. If you haven't caught up, catch up to that. Skip like I guess 10 minutes ahead if you don't want any spoilers for X-Men. But yeah, they straight up like blew up Magneto when he's dead now. So like the concept of like, oh, Magneto is the leader now, it's like done. They're just not doing that.
Like he's officially like
he's out. Professor X is coming back to Earth.
Please hope you didn't cut back to me during that.
I mean, whatever. I don't know if it was there or not. I wasn't really paying attention to it.
But we're not gonna talk about that.
But no, yeah. So like Professor X is going back to Earth. So like the whole premise of like Magneto's leading the X-Men is kind of over. Like it lasted like 2 episodes.
They're doing some interesting stuff.
He never led them on a single mission.
Yeah,
I feel like they should have done.
I think they're trying to. I think it was
could have taken out the video game episode and done an episode where they go on a mission.
I think the video game episode served a purpose though, because I think that was supposed to be like, because that would have been an episode of the.
It was for the vibes.
No, that would have been like basically what a full episode of the '90s cartoon show was.
It was for the vibes.
And the whole idea of the first 5 episodes is like transitioning it from that show into a more mature one. And that whole episode is about Jubilee like learning to grow up in a lot of ways. So I understand why that episode was there. But I don't know. I feel like they made such an effort to like change their status quo. And now it feels like they're just kind of working their way back to a new one. Like they start off the show and they're like Magneto's the leader and Cyclops and Jean Grey are going to have a baby. And they're like trying to mix it up a bit, and now
and then they kind of erased.
Storm lost her powers, like they're trying to like set stuff up, and now it just feels like they're just working their way back.
Storm got her
to how
powers
it was
back,
before the show,
and
Cyclops no longer has a baby.
Cyclops doesn't have a baby.
Xavier's leading the X-Men.
Yeah,
Storm's
like
back.
We're back at. We just reset. I was like, all right,
we just killed Magneto and Gambit.
Sure, I guess.
I kind of feel bad for Gambit.
His death was really cool.
His death was really cool, but he didn't get to do anything in any of the episodes before that.
I feel because he just got cheated on and then immediately died.
Honestly,
that kind of sucks to be.
Honestly, that's my only problem with the show so far is that there's so many characters that like half the main cast has gotten little to no focus at all.
You know, I saw a tweet and I was like, wait, why? So you know how like Rogue can't touch Cyclops?
Yeah,
and that was like part of the rift in their relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Wear a collar. Aang with the collar on.
That is a good point. Why don't they all do that?
Kind of solves all the problems that she has.
You know the X-Men...
Or why not just have like a collar you could turn on and off?
Obscure pool. You know that X-Men character that his intestines turned into the big maggots? And
Sure.
they writhe around on his arm and eat food
Why
for
not?
him?
Yeah, probably.
What would happen if he put it on? Would they
They just stop.
would they turn back into normal intestines, but like now they're on the outside of his body? And
I think they just kind of sink back into his body.
They would just go-
wherever they're supposed to be. Yeah, they'd just go back.
Why doesn't Cyclops pop
Yeah,
that collar
I don't
on
know.
occasionally?
That like all the mutants.
I know it's obviously because like the whole point is that they can't.
We don't want to be repressed by the whatever.
Because the metaphor doesn't work. Because black people can't just put a collar on and become
And
white
turn
for an
white, yeah.
afternoon.
That's
why. But like in universe,
yeah, in universe that, or like they could invent bracelets that like, or rings or something that like do the same thing, so it's not as like bulky or in the way. Like there are ways you could do this.
Beast could figure it out.
Beast could totally figure it out.
But like characters like Beast, I guess Bishop is kind of on the show. Bishop,
he just kind of helps out.
He just kind of helps out. Morph, I don't think Morph said like 2 lines of dialogue.
I like Morph. Morph's kind of fun.
Yeah, but he's like barely in it.
Yeah, but all he does
Gambit
is like,
didn't get really anything to do.
the only thing he does is like screw with the other X-Men. So.
Wolverine, honestly, Wolverine's gotten very little to do. The restraint to not have him be the center of every episode is admirable.
Because he wasn't as popular when they made the cartoon.
Well,
but he wasn't the
But he's never been the main guy in
Yeah.
X-Men until the movies came out, and
Yeah.
he became the most popular. Like I like that they had the balls to stick with Cyclops as essentially the protagonist.
I feel like the love triangle though is like just kind of not, that just needs to not be a part of the show. They don't focus on it enough for it to be worth doing.
It makes sense in story because Jean is all kind of
memories
messed
are, like,
up right
screwed
now, but I hope it's not a thing where they're like, we're on season 3 and we're still doing this.
Yeah, I think
Because also, Cyclops and Jean Grey end up together. That's every time. That's
yeah,
always where we end up.
Stop. Just do it.
Wolverine gets a clone daughter and then dies. That's his end game.
Yeah. Okay. What do we got? We didn't even talk about the trailer. Oh, Tales of the Empire.
That's true. They
That was
announced
cool. That looks cool. I want to see that.
Coming out May 4th.
There's
All
a lot of
6
stuff coming
episodes?
out May 4th.
Is the Bad Batch finale airing May 4th?
I'm not sure, but I know Acolyte's coming out on May 4th.
No,
right?
Acolyte's coming out in June.
Oh, okay. I thought it was May 4th.
I think it's just this.
This and all their collab that they're doing.
We don't count the Fortnite thing.
I called it. Before it was
They
announced.
do it every year.
No, they've only done it once, and it wasn't even during May 4th. But I saw it because they said that their Avatar collab ends on May 3rd, and I was like, oh, because you're doing a Star Wars. Yeah, and then like the day after I said that, it was announced that they were doing.
Oh, they
Star
announced
Wars
some
collab.
details on that Avatar movie.
Yeah, they got pushed back.
It got pushed back. And it's coming out in January of 26.
That's fine. As long as
it's going to
good,
be
I don't
called
care.
Aang the Last Airbender. Or at least that's the working title. It might change, but I feel like they'll just call
That's dumb. That's
Well, what
stupid.
else do you
Give it a subtitle related to
Why
like
don't they just
whatever
make it-
happens.
I don't understand why the Avatar franchise, not the Blue People one, the good one. I don't understand why the Avatar franchise is so committed to not using the Avatar name.
Because it's confusing now.
Like, why was Korra not called Avatar: The Legend of Korra?
Because there was another movie called Avatar that came out in between those two things.
Is that why?
I'm assuming that's why.
But people know the difference.
No, they don't.
The Netflix show
We
they
have to
called
clarify like every time.
one is good.
Yeah, we say the good
And
one,
one
and then
is-
usually people know what we're talking
And
about. But
honestly, the Blue People was not even that bad. It's just like okay, it's all
but like,
right.
the Last Airbender is like
Is
legendary.
is
Yeah.
way better. Yeah. Anyway,
yeah.
Oh, and Dave Bautista is gonna play the villain.
I did
saw
see that. Yeah.
Very cool. Love
I mean,
that
I
Dave
don't-
Bautista.
He's cool. I don't know enough about the movie to like know if I care about that. Like,
It's them as adults. It's
Yeah.
the original crew.
would he be the last Airbender, or would Tenzin have been born by then?
I don't know. Maybe he'll be born in the movie.
Probably. Well, he's not the oldest, I don't think.
No,
I think
other
Boomy's
ones,
the
right?
oldest.
So I mean, well, he's not the last Airbender. There's more Airbenders in Korra.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like because Boomy gets airbending from
At this
all the
point,
spirit shenanigans that
The
happen
Aang
in
is
Korra.
still the last one. There's
Yeah.
no. Unless you count Appa. Is
or
Appa still
any
gonna
of
be
the
alive?
bisons.
dead by the
I
time?
assume the bisons live a long time, like giant.
I just want to see
Could be
Appa.
wrong.
Can they just make an Appa movie? I'd watch
A
that.
solo. I mean, there was a
Appa,
solo.
he got a
Appa
solo
episode,
episode.
but that episode's kind of boring. So
Well, it's kind of. That's not boring.
it's not boring, but like every
kinda
time I
sad.
watch, yeah, it's really sad. But like every time I watch it, I'm like, okay, I don't really. Okay,
How
Appa's
dare you.
in
That
the
shows
circus.
like you let him have one filler.
Every single episode is like good. Like when I rewatched it, I was like, wow, there's literally
It's amazing how that show literally.
there is not a single filler episode.
No, like literally that show gets better every episode. Like it's insane how that actually happens.
yeah, it doesn't make sense.
because like even other great shows like they'll get better as they go on, but like some episodes will just kind of feel interchangeable.
Yeah,
Or like we'll have a great episode and then a couple normal ones and then a really good one again. Avatar literally like episode 5 is better than episode 4, episode 6 is better than 5, and it literally just keeps going until the show ends.
The only problem with it is that they didn't give it the 4th season they wanted to do.
But
That's
even then it
literally
ends. It's got a great
and
finale.
it has a great ending. So like it didn't even really matter
Yeah.
that much.
No, that show's ridiculous.
So good, it's so good. And then Korra was like the most ever. So except for that one season,
See,
they had one really.
That's
good
my
season.
concern for because they're doing they're doing a bunch of these Avatar movies. Honestly,
Well, the one that's after this one is the next Avatar after Korra.
really, they're gonna
Yeah,
go
it's an
further in the
Earthbender. They've
future.
already said his name. It's an Earthbender named. I don't remember.
Okay. I thought they were gonna do something with Kyoshi. They keep saying they're gonna do something with Kyoshi.
Maybe. I mean, they gave her some books. I don't know.
She's in the live action show.
She's in the live.
quite a
They
bit.
should have just made the live action show a Korra show. Or not
What?
Korra show. A Kyoshi
Okay, I was
show.
like, what?
Because
No, they
the
have
tone
to
would
do
have
it.
fit better, and it would have not had to compete
But they
with
have
like
to
one
do
of the
it
best shows ever made.
They have to do this because this is the thing people. And more people are gonna watch the live action one than the cartoon one just because it's live action, and a lot of people just refuse to watch.
I think people still would have been excited for a new Avatar thing.
Avatar fans would have, but you would not have had the accessibility of.
I think you could
Airbender.
do it. I think people would. I think people who are just like, oh, this show looks cool. It's a girl with superpowers, and I watch it. Like I feel like that could work.
I mean, I don't know what's gonna happen with that show now because the showrunner left.
I mean, freaking Wednesday did good, and that's like no one cares about the Addams family.
Okay, but you also don't. There's no lore to the Addams family.
Yeah,
There
but-
are
okay.
characters, and then that's it.
The
As long as you
lore-
know like their basic attributes, you're fine.
The lore of Avatar is not complicated. There's
It's not,
four
but there is
elements,
a
and there's
world.
one guy who can bend all of them, and there's like little civilizations. But that's all stuff that you could show in the show. Like that's not stuff you have to have explained to you before you watch it. And especially because it would be before all of the stuff that happens in all the other shows. So like knowing all that wouldn't even be helpful.
I am kind of concerned about this because this animated movie's coming out in theaters. I don't know if it's gonna do particularly,
It's 2D animated, so I mean, it's
which is kind of a death curse.
yeah for
I don't know. Boy and the
mean,
Heron did all right, but this is probably gonna cost more than that.
There's no way that this costs more than Boy and the
Boy
Heron.
and the Heron was not that expensive.
Yeah, because it was made in Japan, and they don't.
They don't gotta
survive or
pay their
not.
employees.
I don't know. I think there's enough Avatar. I think the Avatar fan base is mobile enough to make it worth making.
No, they don't.
I imagine it was probably a lot. I mean, the animation was crazy,
I mean, I don't know.
and the voice cast. The voice cast was bonkers. The budget cannot have been small
For the cart.
for Boy and the Heron.
Oh, yeah. I saw you talking about the Avatar movie. I was like,
I mean, yeah.
Dave Bautista's a big actor in that. I don't know, but
I mean, there's yeah.
because I know they recast everyone else and people were not fans.
except Zuko goes the same.
Go staying around. That's good.
And I think that's just because he plays old Zuko.
I don't know why
in
they
Korra.
are. I understand recasting like Aang because his voice sounds like a child, but like Sokka and Katara, you could just.
Yeah, you could have kept them, and
With
Toph
Toph.
maybe. Toph you could maybe recast.
But they already didn't they cast old Toph for Korra, so
yeah, but
who's
that's like
that?
very old Toph.
now we have young Toph, old.
I mean, there
Toph,
was that
and older
one
Toph.
like flashback part where it's like, because when the flashbacks to the Bloodbender guy being around and Aang stopping him with the Avatar state, but like other than that, she's not really. She has I think one line of dialogue. So like you want to give her a different voice, you could. Anyway,
Yeah, I feel like that movie's gonna do like moderately well, and then like the other 5 that they've announced are all just gonna go straight to Paramount Plus and die because no one's
Oh.
gonna watch them.
well, no, because they're on Netflix right now. It might go to Netflix.
No.
All the Avatar stuff's on Netflix.
Yeah, but Paramount Plus, they're gonna want you to subscribe to that.
I think that they're not. I think that they know that Avatar needs to be on Netflix. Otherwise, they would have just put it on.
Well,
Paramount
the
Plus.
live action one was only on there because they had already made that deal before they started doing Paramount Plus. That show just took forever to.
But they put all the other Avatar shows are on there. Those could totally be on Paramount.
But they're
Plus.
probably gonna pull them off soon.
I mean,
Or they'll just keep them
not
around
for the
until,
next 3 years at
they'll
least.
just keep them around until the live action show wraps up.
Yeah, and that's gonna be at least 5 or 6 years.
Well, they're gonna do. I think they're planning to do 2 and 3 back to back. I don't know what's gonna happen now.
But even if they do
Because again,
that,
the showrunner,
Netflix takes forever to make shows.
they've
It's gonna be
switched
5 or
showrunners
6
for the
years before
second
they finish
time.
that whole show.
but they're only doing 3 seasons, so that's not that long.
Yes, but it's Netflix, and it took them like a decade to do 3 seasons.
They're
of
working on Stranger Things. Still
They
working
still
on that
haven't finished
final
Stranger
season.
Things.
What's it been? It's been already almost 2 years since the last one.
Yeah, yeah.
God, that show's literally gonna have been on for a decade by the time it.
Yes, those guys are gonna be 30 when the show is finished. Stupid.
Eleven's literally getting married. It's been that long. Anyway, that show. As long as it doesn't end stupid. I don't know. It's
Gotten pretty stupid.
season 4 was an improvement.
It was an improvement over season 3 for sure.
Because season 3 was bad.
You could cut season 3 out and it wouldn't make a difference.
As long as they knock off some of these characters.
Yeah, there's way too many.
That is honestly the show's biggest problem, is that the writers can't let anyone go. And literally the cast
And
is
they keep
25
pretending
people.
like they're gonna let people go and they don't
Yes.
do it.
Or they'll be like, guys, we killed Billy, and it's like the bad guy. You do that
The
every
guy
year
we
anyway.
don't care about at all.
But he had a mom.
But he had a mom.
That makes his murder okay.
All right.
Anyway,
And the fan base for sure, which I also called. I called that like way back on YouTube in like 2000
was-
whenever. I called that and it had happened. Anyway,
you can't wear that Stranger Things shirt in public.
I can't. Every time I wear it, they're
it's
like,
like-
"Oh, that's my favorite
it's
show." I'm
like-
like, I know.
It's like gross people magnet.
All right, what do we have next? We could talk about the Acolyte. That looks so cool.
Does look cool. Most disliked trailer in history now, I think, on
It is?
YouTube.
What? Why?
Because it's a show run by a woman. Got a black lady in it. That's too woke. All the grifters jumped on it. They went full scale attack mode.
Well, I'm gonna.
They're getting like it's getting harder for them to even like pull that stuff for now.
like what is there to complain
Literally, the
about?
only thing they're complaining about is the fact that the writer is a lady.
Who cares? Who cares? Why does it matter?
Because that's woke. Woke is whatever I say it is.
Woke is when I don't
Woke
like
is when
it.
person I don't like does thing.
But like none of
And
the
person I don't like is anyone who's not looking like me.
none of the people involved have like said anything bad or like I don't understand.
Yeah.
Like, with what was there was one where the lady was like, "Oh, I like to make men
Oh,
uncomfortable."
for the one doing episode 10. the lady
Yeah,
doing
which like number one, she wasn't even talking about Star Wars.
But
was
yeah,
doing an
obviously
interview.
like that's a,
But, like, yeah, that's like an incendiary quote, but like, that didn't. There's nothing like that for the Acolyte.
no.
Like, what's going on?
It's just a thing to hate. The real reason I think is because like this is Star Wars trying something new, and because before, right, what they would criticize him for doing is remaking all the old stuff, but then they would complain whenever they switch anything out because they would say it's woke.
Yeah,
Now because they're doing new stuff, the only thing you have to complain about is that it's woke. So like the veil is just
but
gone.
it's not even out yet.
Sam, that has literally no factor into any of this.
Okay, sometimes when like something gets made, like
Here's how the grift wheel
no,
works.
I understand how the grift tool works. Like
'Cause-
okay, some
'cause they
shows
pivot.
Some shows they come out and like yeah, every character in it is like some kind of like oppressed group, and
Yeah.
you're like, all right, this is like
It's
kind of
they're
ridiculous.
obviously just checking boxes.
Yeah, you're just ticking boxes to like impress your friends at the
or
Hollywood
to fill
party.
focus group
Yeah.
demands.
But like sometimes you just have minorities in things, and then that's fine. They're
Yeah.
just part of the thing.
It's got
Stop complaining.
like the guy from Squid Game.
Who's a really good
It's
actor?
got Carrie-Anne Moss from The Matrix.
Also really good.
It's got X-23 from Logan. Like it's got all these
It's-
like people.
Everyone in it is
like
stacked.
people you like, are in good things.
The concept is amazing.
yeah.
That is such a cool idea.
Sith serial killer for Jedi. That's
That's
awesome.
awesome. And we know that, like, the Jedi are gonna lose because they don't know the Sith exist in episode 1, so, like, they're gonna die probably. That's cool. There's cool stuff happening. Why are they being stupid?
Well, that's doing stupid for money.
Yeah.
And
Did you see what happened?
And it's so obvious, too. I don't understand how people keep falling for it, because what they do is it's woke. It's too woke until it comes out. And then if it's really good, they just literally they do a complete 180 on it.
No, they just stopped talking about it.
No, and they're like, this is actually really good. And now it's because it's so good and people like it and I can't make money by hating it. Now it's anti-woke and they'll just do a complete.
Yeah, that's what happened with Sydney. Everything Sydney Sweeney.
That's what happened with the Mario. Like, remember that happened with the Mario movie? They all complained that Peach was going to be too girl boss, and then it came out and was too big of a hit, and so they had to help pivot. And they were like, "This is anti-woke Disney," and they're like, they just do that, and people fall for it.
Yeah,
I don't understand it. I honestly like.
Did you see Boogie? That's like what Boogie does now. He became like a quartering.
That's
knockoff.
like.
It's so sad. It's so sad to see.
And it's just, I honestly, the
how did they all turn into the quartering? Hang on, because he's the worst one. Like, okay, Steven Crowder's nuts, but like his content was at least like
well produced,
like pretty good.
That's the thing for me. That's the thing I don't understand how people watch. Like people being easily tricked. That's been the thing for literally since the beginning of time. But like the videos are so poorly made. It's literally a guy
yelling in front of a wall of action
figures with a screen recorder of Twitter. Just scrolling through tweets.
Whenever we joke about action figure guy, that's who we're talking about.
That's who we're talking about.
The guys who just sit in front of a wall of action figures.
You know who they are. And everyone knows who they are.
I don't like it when black people are in my movies.
Yeah,
that's it.
All of their videos are like exactly 10 minutes long so they can get the mid-roll ad. They post like 3 times a day. All their thumbnails are the same.
And then they just go, I want to firebomb Brie Larson's house.
Yeah,
that's like, that's their whole content.
It's a big picture of Brie Larson with glowing red eyes and big yellow text that says, "Too woke, no men." It just says stuff like that.
But it's gonna be good.
It's.
I want Acolyte to be good. I can feel it. I can feel it in the Force. I can sense that we're gonna get some good Star Wars content for once.
It's our annual
fourth
thing.
Project is good.
A banger.
I mean, Bad Batch season 3 has been pretty good so far.
It's been
moving kind of slow. I would wish,
but the whole show moves slow.
The whole show is a little slow.
Whatever the next Star Wars animated show is, the next main one, they need to find something that's got a quicker pace.
Do you think it'll be a High Republic show?
If the Acolyte does well, then yes.
But even if an animated Star Wars TV show, those aren't expensive, and they've been making those forever.
But I think they're testing public interest in that era.
That makes sense.
But whatever they do next, I think it's going to be closer to the Clone Wars format, where it's probably going to be like 4-episode arc of these characters, and jump around, because that's what makes Clone Wars work. Is like the perspectives are.
You got to see so many different parts.
It's not really one overarching. There's overarching elements and like plot threads, but there's not like one overarching story.
And there really hasn't been a show like that since Clone Wars.
Rebels and Bad Batch are like, we're following the same group of characters every time.
And each episode is a direct follow-up to the last one.
And because they're not allowed to like do anything too impactful, the show never moves very fast.
But High Republic, you can, to an extent, pretty much do whatever you want.
It is astounding to me that we've literally spent 3 years making a cartoon show specifically to explain plot holes from episode 9.
I wouldn't say that they're plot holes. They're just stuff that wasn't explained.
We're writing a television show prologue to that movie.
Because we know now from the novelization of episode 9 that like they did have specific intentions for like how that worked. They just never said it in the movie, which is very frustrating and very stupid. But yeah, I mean that's why people like the prequels now, is because Clone Wars was good and it explained all the stupid things.
Because of nostalgia. It's mostly because of it.
It's because of nostalgia, but also it's because, like, if you watch the Clone Wars and then you watch episode 3, the entire, like, third act is a lot more impactful. If you just watch episode 3 and none of that other stuff existed, you're like, oh no, long head guy got killed by the clones who we're told were good, I guess. Oh, I guess they were bad. Like, it doesn't really make a lot of sense what's going on in episode 3. Like, really at all. Unless you watch the Clone Wars.
Yeah. True.
Anyway,
More trailers.
Let's talk. Since we're on Star Wars,
move
we can
on?
talk about the rest of it. We'll just go
Oh,
with the rest of our Star Wars stuff. So, episode 1 is re-releasing for the third time in theaters.
that's correct. Remember last time was in 3D.
Yep, I didn't see it in 3D, and I probably am not going to see it now.
They're doing they're still doing they're going to screen some theaters are going to screen all 9 episodes on May the 4th, like back to back.
That's literally going to take all day to watch.
Okay. I tried to find tickets for it. I couldn't find them. I had to go specifically to the Fandango website.
Oh, good.
Like, it was showing at a Cinemark, as our preferred movie theater venue, but it wasn't on the Cinemark app. I had to go to the Fandango website.
That's weird.
And tickets were already completely sold out, like the day they went
Oh,
up.
I wonder if it was like a Fathom Events thing.
It's probably like what they're doing it through. The listed runtime was 20 hours. I was willing to do it.
Hi.
Tickets were like $80, I think.
I don't think I would want to watch all.
I would 100% do that, just so I could say I did.
You can do that. You could do that tomorrow.
But it'd be more fun to do it in a movie theater with other people. The only problem with it though is that they would screen them in chronological order, so the ones you would want to sleep through are the first 2.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you'd be so burnt out after the first 2 that you wouldn't want to stay. Episode 3 is not much better. Like, you'd be so burnt out by the time.
If they would do 4, 5, 6, let me take a nap during 1 and 2. I'm back for 3 through 9.
But like, okay, if we did that and then we just show up
9.
like 9 hours late, then yeah, that's fine. Like, I'd be chill. Like, I can.
But then
watch
you
the
didn't
rest.
do all 9.
And then I'll just leave for 8 and 9.
Next May the 4th, do all 12 Star Wars movies, including the end.
Oh, because like I have stuff to do.
30 full
on that day,
hours.
so I can't.
30
do that.
full hours. Can't leave.
No.
What are you supposed to eat? Just movie theater snacks? For
I guess.
meals?
Yeah. I mean, do they do an intermission?
They do
maybe?
intermissions, but they can't be that long. Like they're not like letting you
How
go
long is
leave
each
to get
Star
lunch.
Wars movie? Like 2.5 hours, give or take.
Around there, yeah.
After that. All right.
Anyway,
Let's talk about. Star Wars Visions is getting a spinoff.
it is.
Getting a comic book.
That's who cares. Everything gets a comic.
The Ronin guy is gonna go do more Ronin things.
I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. I never watched Star Wars videos.
I thought you saw the first episode though.
I saw some of them. That was it.
It's the first. It's a spinoff of the first episode. Like the
Okay.
black and white samurai. dude.
Oh, okay. I watched that like
Yeah.
2 years ago.
And that part seemed like there was like a lot of stuff going on that they could explore. Like that he was like a.
I remember he had like a hat of lightsabers or something.
Oh, there was like a lightsaber umbrella. But that was like more just because it's funny. But like no, his lore is that he was a Sith that left the Sith and is now hunting them down.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's a cool idea. I'd be down to see whatever he's got going on. And then Star Wars Outlaws, we got a lot more revealed about that. Some good and a lot bad.
The Jabba mission is locked behind the season pass.
So the main
DLC.
thing that you would want to do, which is the stuff that is the stuff you know, is locked behind a battle pass for a game that is not even multiplayer, as far as we know.
As long as the base game is fun, I don't care about all the other stuff.
But the Jabba mission should be included.
It
in
should
the
all
game.
be included in the main game. There should not be $120 deluxe edition of it.
Unless they are making like a new heist every month or whatever. I don't understand. Unless this is Star Wars GTA, which I know it isn't. The battle pass.
What
doesn't
I
make
don't
any
understand
sense.
is every game is switching to this model, this like in past games as a service thing. And it's literally not working for anyone but Call of Duty and Fortnite.
Yeah, that's literally the only guys it works for.
It's like, why is the entire entertainment industry found one success and just literally all of them believed they could be, everyone in video games, everyone in music, everyone in movies and TV is all trying to be Netflix.
Not Nintendo. They're the only ones.
That's because Nintendo is still, they don't know what Netflix is.
Once they learn about Netflix, though,
they'll
it's
try to
over.
be it. But like everyone else, like it's only working for Netflix. It is failing for literally every other company in the world.
And even then,
they're all
it's
trying to
barely
do it.
working for Netflix. They're having to slash and gash at what they're able to do
Because they have to
keep
spend
their
so
profits
much
up.
to retain the business model.
Yeah.
Because the business model requires just constantly just shoving more and more content into people.
Well,
to
that's the
keep
thing.
their
They have
attention.
to, in order for Netflix to pretend that it is profitable, it has to constantly
spend more money.
no. it has to cut shows from its platform so they can stop spending money on royalties for shows and then invest more in their own shows that no one cares about, which will just eventually causes the whole platform to burn out. But for that window of time where they have shows people want to watch and they make shows no one wants to watch, it'll look like they're becoming more profitable, but really they're just like spinning their wheels. Anyway, yeah, Star Wars Visions. It looks cool.
Does
Or
it
not
come out
Visions,
in
Outlaws.
August? I want to say.
It comes out soon. It
Oh,
comes
by the
out this
way,
year.
This game has also been declared too woke. I don't know if you knew.
Yeah, because woman.
It's because women
It's
had
woman main character.
too big of a chin. I don't know.
Yeah, they complain when women aren't hot.
When women aren't hot enough in video
And then
game.
okay, so we have two sides of the spectrum here. So there's this where like the woman is not like the most gorgeous person to ever exist. So
Okay,
like,
one, she's not real.
well, is she modeled after a real like actor?
I don't know.
Because sometimes they do that for the games if they want to bring him into live action. That's what they did with Cal Kestis. I assume he'll eventually show up in a real at some point.
They should recast him. Be a different guy.
A different guy. That'd be funny.
They should get Will Poulter to do
But
it.
yeah, so we have like people complaining like, oh, Alloy has like a little bit of fuzz on her face, and then they have like there's like Stellar Blade coming out, and they're like, oh, this game is just like porn, and it's like a.
That's because porn has broken everyone on Reddit and Twitter's brain, and they literally cannot like look at actual women.
There was an IGN article written about. Have you heard of Stellar Blade?
No, is this a game?
Yeah, so it's kind of like Nier Automata, where like it's a game, but the woman is like really hot and she's a character. The guy was like, "This was created by someone who's never seen a woman before." The dude who made the game, the art director for the game, is a woman, and it's the main character is modeled after like an actual person. Like they 3D scanned a person and used that as the model.
I don't know. It's just absolutely.
So like, but you have two ends of just like the dumbest people complaining about
like,
stuff that does not matter.
And you know what
all.
the dumbest part of it is? Literally, no one is talking about the actual gameplay.
Yeah, which looks fine.
I haven't even seen any of it.
We saw it
all
in
I see is
trailer.
people whine about the DLC and women.
I like
being
the little
in it.
axolotl dog. I want a plush of that.
Honestly, I probably won't even look at anything. I'll just pick it up and play it for an hour, and then if it's not fun, I'll never play it again.
See, I've been so busy.
That's literally all I have the time to do with every video game.
I've been so busy, and the games that I've like, in order for me to like care about a game, like I have to really care about a game in order to.
If it's not really fun to play, I can't. I don't have.
Like I'm still working on Baldur's Gate. I will eventually finish it because that's a phenomenal game. But like, I still haven't finished that. I think about halfway through Persona, which is really good, and I'm really enjoying that game. And then I have like one world left in Mario, which like that game I just kind of play like.
That's like to play a level before you go to bed.
Yeah. So like, but like I haven't played really anything else in the last few, except for like Fortnite.
I've played like almost
that's
nothing.
basically it.
I have so little time to do anything.
I honestly haven't had a lot of time to play games.
And if I do, I'm like, okay, I could either play an hour and a half of Jedi Survivor and run around a city looking for walls to jump off of or whatever, and then hit 2 robots, or I could just like watch a whole movie. So I'll probably just do that.
Yeah, I haven't even played Jedi Survivor yet. I want to play Jedi Survivor. I don't even own the game right now.
It's like the thing with Jedi Survivor is like I feel like I should play it, and it's not that I dislike it. It's just it's not fun enough for me to like literally like
spend it has to be really
weeks
good
on end being a thing I'm doing consistently. Like the last game I played literally from start to finish, I think, was Spider-Man 2. And that was
I haven't even finished Miles Morales.
And that game was like really short and like honestly not even that fun. So like I don't know. Video games, I just don't have the time.
Did you play Tears of the Kingdom?
I did. I mean, I played it for a while.
Did you finish it?
I didn't finish it.
The ending is really cool. I recommend finishing.
Honestly, I really do want to play that game.
Just walk to Ganon's castle.
You don't
even have to finish really the whole stuff. You can just go there and do the ending.
Like, and also like, I can't talk to people about like me spending 8 hours playing Tears of the Kingdom. Like,
yeah, well, you could with your friends who play the game,
but none of them play the game.
Well, that's so. Well, okay, who are you going to talk to about watching Conan O'Brien's travel blogs?
No one.
Yeah, so that's not a real argument.
That's for me. That one's just for me.
All right. Job mission. I think that's it. Do we have any other Star Wars
Patty
stuff?
Jenkins says she's working on Rogue Squadron again. You see
Yeah,
that?
that's back on. I guess.
It's
If
like
it's not canceled.
it's like her and Lucasfilm were like in a relationship and then had a bad
Yeah,
breakup.
it's like a toxic, like
and now they're
toxic
like,
relationship.
now they're texting again.
Yeah, it's
And
so
we'll see what happens.
Like, they just need to break up. It's getting ridiculous.
I mean, I do feel bad for Patty Jenkins because she made that one bad movie and it was immediately fired from all of her other
It was
projects.
really bad.
But like, it was real bad.
It might be worse than The Flash, maybe.
She needs her and J.J. Abrams, where they're like, they obviously have a lot of talent as a director,
But they just keep doing the dumbest
but they
things.
keep being like, no, I'm a screenwriter. Gosh darn it. And they keep trying it and they keep failing.
Yeah,
I'm just
that's
like,
not their thing.
you're just find a good writer and then you don't have to worry about it. And you can still
Yeah.
have input, but you don't have to like, because the problem with Wonder Woman 1984 is it's stupid in the details.
Yeah,
like,
it got way too into stuff that wasn't important at all.
That's where you know a script is bad, is not when like the ideas themselves don't work, but when everything is poorly thought out.
Well, some of the ideas were also really dumb, like the wishing rock.
But that's why you have like you need to just have it be like her sending suggestions, not like this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a wishing rock.
Controversial opinions. Sometimes a project can benefit from focus group. Sometimes having a group of people going, none of this makes any sense is good.
There was, I mean, that is like, because in that movie, there's like the two opening scenes. I don't know why I remember that movie in detail as much as I do. That movie I watched one time on HBO Max when it came out.
It was just so bad. It was so mind destroyingly
I just
bad.
remember like people talking about that movie literally because there was nothing else. Because it was 2020 and we were like, well, I guess we're all gonna watch
it was
this
free to
bad
watch.
Wonder Woman sequel. But like, that movie has the two opening scenes where like it's like her playing in the Olympics as a small child.
Yeah, the fake.
And then at the end, like her
Olympics
mom gives her a list of moral lessons to learn throughout the movie.
that never come up again.
No, that they keep coming up. Like they're like literally like, all right, Diana, in 1984, when you're gonna fight the wishing rock guy, you need to learn humility. And then like, and then after that,
she already knew that. Like she doesn't learn that over the course of the movie.
And then there's another opening scene where she's like fighting bank robbers in a mall, and then the movie starts. It's like the studio literally told her like pick one. This is either the opening scene or this is the opening scene. You don't need both.
No.
And she was like, no, I want both. And they don't add anything. Like neither one of them add anything.
Yeah.
It was just like, I want to do these two things. No one's going to stop me. But I still don't think this will ever get made.
Let's see if there's any other. Buda Mayo got fired. Who? X-Men guy?
Oh, right. He got fired after he finished work on season 2. He's still been tweeting about the show though.
Yeah, he still seems to be promoting the show. So I don't know
it
what
makes
exactly.
sense. He's got to get work after this.
I think he's hoping that the show will be received well enough that they'll hire him back.
Where they have to hire him back because
I
they
think
haven't
he's
given a
hoping for
reason.
James Gunn situation.
They haven't given a reason for him being fired, which is the weird thing.
I think the reason is because he has.
I think it's because of the OnlyFans.
Which, by the way, he has an OnlyFans. Which
But
I
also,
think is
like,
hilarious.
People wouldn't know that, and people would not have figured that out unless they fired him.
Yeah,
like,
no one would have gone.
No
to
one
his
would have
Twitter.
just discovered that.
Well, they might have.
He tweets stuff, but like,
bro, he tweets like full on like bulge shots on,
yeah,
on main.
you just tell him to stop,
Just tell him to like make a separate
or
Twitter
just
for
cool
the
it
show.
down.
Just tell him like just do another account for the show.
But also, like, he was doing that before. Like, you knew that.
Yeah, you knew he was doing that.
Why
he
did
probably
you
put that on his resume?
Yeah, I mean, he probably did.
Yeah, I don't know.
But he did a great job.
The show's amazing.
It's really well written. I don't know. I guess maybe he'll come back.
Hope. I mean, I don't know what exactly happened, but
who
like,
knows if he even get us if it'll
assuming
even get
he
a
didn't
season
do
3.
anything like illegal or like creepy.
See,
then-
I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. Where like
Yeah.
in like 2 months, someone's like, he groped me at work, and then we'll be like, okay.
if it was that, then it's like, okay,
Now we're
yeah,
good.
he's fired and we're done. But,
But,
like,
like,
we haven't been given a reason, so I
it,
don't really
it
know
just
what's going
appears
on.
like too naughty for Disney.
Like Disney was like, "You're being a bad boy." No,
stop it.
All
Then
right,
I'm not
Teen
gonna-
Titans movie. I don't care about.
They're doing a Teen Titans movie.
I don't care. Oh,
You don't
Apple
think that's
sued-
news? No, we're gonna talk about the Teen Titans thing.
Okay,
They're doing that in the DCU. That's a big deal. We're doing a live action Teen Titans movie.
but then they made Titans.
We would have been really excited about this 10 years ago.
Yeah, but then now we live in a world where Titans. Exist.
Okay, but it literally Titans is terrible.
Yes, but they made 4 seasons of it.
Okay, but that's I don't understand.
Why
how
did
that
they
happened.
commit so hard to an idea that was
I
so
don't know.
bad?
I don't know. because streaming services are a Ponzi scheme.
But those people are still around.
No, it's the DCU people. It's the James
but
Gunn and
half
Peter
of them
Safran.
are the same guys.
No, it's being the only I think writer from those shows who's sticking around is the Doom Patrol guy, and apparently that show's great.
Yeah, I've heard that show's good, but no one watches it because who cares about Doom Patrol?
Okay, but a lot of shows about characters who are more obscure are good. That's not the point. The lady who's writing it is also writing the Supergirl movie, so we'll see how that works out. That's going to come out first.
Yeah.
That movie is apparently maybe going to shoot this year. I think it has a director now.
That's it.
as well.
I haven't heard any news about Supergirl.
We know who Supergirl is. We know who wrote it, and we know who the director
Yeah,
is.
since she was cast, I haven't heard anything else about the movie.
You have to put movie because
Yeah, it's called Woman of Tomorrow.
Craig Gillespie. Yeah, he's gonna direct it. It's the remember the 101 Dalmatians Cruella.
Oh, Cruella
Remember
was good.
Cruella? He did that.
Cruella wasn't bad.
He did I think he did I, Tonya as well.
But Cruella was like way better than it had any
He also
right
did
to
the
be.
GameStop movie, but we'll ignore that one.
Yeah, I don't care about that or have seen that.
But yeah, he
yet.
did I, Tonya, and he did Cruella.
So he's done some good stuff.
That's solid.
That's good
You
stuff.
could maybe do something pretty good.
He's very good at women leading projects.
Do you think? Okay, so we're doing Teen Titans. What's our Titans lineup? Who are we going with?
Like, who are we casting?
No, like who are the characters we're
Oh,
doing?
okay. Robin, Cyborg,
Yep.
Raven, Starfire, Boy.
Yep. Just the 5?
Yeah.
Just the class.
Why would we change it?
Well, because in the comics, a lot of times you got like Kid Flash, you got Wonder Girl.
we could add Kid Flash in like the second one. Wonder Girl.
You just want to stick because you're gonna have to keep the team small.
Kid Flash is like sometimes a main member. Wonder Girl is like barely even
Well,
a
no, like
character.
in the comics, characters are constantly like anyone, like Blue Beetle, like any young character in the DC universe has practically been on the team.
Okay, but if once we start adding Wonder Girl, like that's Young Justice now. I don't really care so much about that. If we're gonna do,
you just want to stick.
if we
to
do
like,
a Young Justice movie, we can do that. But if we're doing Teen Titans,
just wanna
it needs to be the Teen Titans.
well, the Teen
which is
Titans
those
started
five guys.
out as the sidekicks.
No
And
one
this is like
remembers
Superboy
the
and that.
original comic. That's not.
You're
real.
saying
I'm
like
talking about
the Cartoon Network show.
the one people care about. The
Do you-
version of them that is the version
Okay.
that people.
So we know we're getting Damian Wayne Robin in the Batman movie.
You?
Yeah. Do you think we're doing? Hey, he's just going to be in this, or do you think we're doing Nightwing? I would personally like to see Nightwing more, but I'd also like to see. I'd like to just see a Nightwing movie.
I don't think
anyone would watch it, but that's what I would watch.
I don't think Nightwing can be a Teen Titan.
Well, it would
he's
just be
old, but
they're all going to have to
Damien
be.
could.
They're all going to have to be old because they're all going to have. They can't.
So is it
Teenagers
going to be
hard.
called Titans or is it going to be called Teen Titans?
They're going to call it the Teen.
So then they
They
got to be
can't call it
teens.
Titans because the show is Titans.
Yeah, so then they got to be teens. They at least have to start off as teenagers.
Okay, then I guess it's going to have to be
It's got to be Damian.
Damian Wayne,
Which
'cause
is
Nightwing
fine,
would be
'cause,
too
like,
old at this point.
The mentality of Robin doesn't really change between Robins.
Well,
Damian is a little bit of an
Damien's a little
exception.
insane.
But honestly, I think it would make more sense for Damian to be leading a team than
that would definitely be
Yeah.
a more interesting because Dick Grayson's such a Boy Scout.
yeah. He's like not a.
I really
leader
like
type.
Nightwing.
He's very interesting as Nightwing. Dick Grayson is a much more interesting character as Nightwing. As Robin, he's just kind of like he's literally like the Teen Titans like making fun of Robin, where he's like, "Hi boys, we're going to the picnic or whatever." Like that's like basically how he
Going to
behaves.
the picnic. But yeah, I think they're definitely gonna do. Well, I don't know because Cyborg's on that team, and do you do another Cyborg after we just did
Yes.
Zack Snyder Cyborg?
Yeah. But they're gonna redo all the characters. We can redo Cyborg.
Yes. I don't know. I think it'll be. I think the first thing they're gonna do is show up to Jenna Ortega's house with
And be like, please, oh my god,
$10 million
please,
in cash.
please, I'll give you infinite
and be
money.
like, Raven, do Raven. We'll give you all the money for
we
Raven.
will give you every dollar that's
even though
ever
she's
been
21.
made.
Everyone else will be teenagers, and then Jenna
Okay,
Ortega
but she
will be
looks like a small person. Could get away with
Okay, Sam, we can't do Jenna Ortega be hot and then also compare her to a
Okay,
teenager in the same
yes,
episode.
she's hot, but like you could dress her up and make her like she's
still playing Wednesday.
she's still playing Wednesday. And how old's Wednesday? Like
don't know.
a teenager. She
She's
could
in
play
high school in the
she
show.
could make it work.
We may work. It'll be fine. It'll all be fine.
All of them are going to be played by like adults. Like that's just gonna happen.
Yeah, I feel like they'll cast like a real child for Beast Boy. That just seems like something
Yeah,
they would do.
because he's like the most immature member of the team.
And then Damian Wayne, he's also gonna have to be a kid because Damian Wayne is.
Well, he'll be however old the actor is in the Batman.
I don't know which one will come out first. My guess will.
Batman probably first.
That has
We
a
don't even
director.
since that one's been like charted out in the list of when they're coming out, and this one happened.
But I also feel like the problem with that is they have to space that one out from the Matt Reeves one.
We have to,
And the Matt Reeves one keeps getting delayed. So the longer that gets pushed back, the longer the other one gets pushed back.
You know what? I don't think that they care about like separating those. I don't think James Gunn cares.
I don't think James Gunn wants them doing that. I don't think he wants them doing that or the Joker thing. But I think they.
But I think he understands that like they need to make money, and so he's gonna.
Because the studio's like, Joker made $1 billion. We got to do Joker 2.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The trailer for Joker 2 came out also.
I don't know. I don't really like the first one.
First one was pretty good.
I don't really.
But I don't care. Like I'm good.
No,
I thought it was good. I don't need more.
The press tour is gonna be Joaquin Phoenix and Todd Phillips going. We had to make another one. We asked for a bunch of money. We did it. And they said, do whatever you want. And we were like,
did you see that it apparently has like 46 songs or something crazy like that?
I just, honestly, the only thing about Joker 2 I'm looking forward to is watching people I know who don't know it's a musical who are going to come out and be like, why did I just watch music? I hated that.
I'm kind of down for a Joker musical. That could be like stupid.
I'm down for stupid things.
That could be a fun, stupid thing.
I just want incels to be mad. And incels
but they weren't even mad when the first one came out.
No, they loved the first one. But the second one being a musical, that's girly.
They really didn't. Like, incels kind of ignored it. Like, because the politics of the movie are very woke. Yeah. And so they kind of just, like, wrote it off. And then, like, the mainstream news organizations were like, all the incels are going to kill everyone. Remember, and then nothing happened.
I couldn't believe when that happened where we were doing, like, the whole, there's going to be another shooting at a movie theater. I was like,
no. Stop saying that and it won't happen. And it didn't happen anyway, and you were saying that.
It didn't happen.
It didn't even technically happen the first time.
The shooting, the Dark Knight Rises shooting, Joker's not even in that movie.
And the guy said that he wasn't doing
He dyed his hair red. The Joker's hair is not even red.
Yeah.
That'd be like if he dyed his hair yellow and we ran that news story and he just looked like a blonde guy. Like, what are we doing?
It's dumb. It's not a real... like, yes, it is very tragic that happened. That means an evil person. But that's, like, the Joker did not have anything to do with that.
That was not the reason that happened. He literally said, I did that one because it was opening weekend and I knew there would be a lot of people in there.
No, some writer at, like, MSNBC was like, oh...
we can get more
I've got an idea
from this.
For a headline. Yeah. And then, like, the world freaked out, even though it was not... Like,
and then we were putting armed police officers outside of the Joker screening.
Yeah, I was like, this is ridiculous. But,
I don't know. That movie is going to do dumb. Probably
this movie will be fun. It'll do great. I don't know. It'll make so much money because
it'll make money. It's not going to do anything close to the first. I don't think.
I don't think it'll do anything close, but it'll definitely make. And it cost
4 times as much as the last one.
I think it'll still make a ton of money. I think it's kind of like Deadpool. I think the audience for this is like basically the same audience for.
That's true. Who just want to say they saw an edgy comic book movie?
Yeah, they just like edgy comic book.
But do they think singing is edgy? Singing is not edgy, and there's going to be a lot of singing. I think, honestly, that might have been self-sabotage.
Yeah.
Where they're like, we know who the audience is for this. If we do a thing they hate, which is musicals, then this one won't do as well, and then they won't.
They were trying to fail.
Then they won't make us do a third one, so then we don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it'll do fine. I think it'll do okay. It'll make money for sure.
It's got a title a lot of people are going to have a hard time pronouncing, which I think was also intentional. Joker Filet.
It is a good like pun.
Yeah.
Once you know like what.
And Harley Quinn's in it.
And it's
Lady Gaga.
Oh my gosh. You know what? Okay, so I was playing they did like this event at the college I'm at.
Yep.
And college. And we were doing this thing where it was like a Pictionary thing, and what was with like celebrities, and I was the one drawing.
I would have won.
I was the one drawing. The guy guessing didn't know any celebrities.
I would have won. I was the guy guessing.
Yeah, if you were the guy guessing, but you weren't. And the one I got was Margot Robbie, and I had a red crayon, so I was like, okay, I'll like do a Harley Quinn sort
Should
of.
have done a Barbie.
I couldn't do that with red because that doesn't make any like that doesn't translate
Oh, like a Barbie doll.
with a red crayon. How do you do that?
I guess you.
It'd just be a girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I tried to do a Harley Quinn, and he was like, "Oh, Lady Gaga," and I was like,
How do you know about that?
"How do you know about that?" But he didn't know who Cillian Murphy was, and I drew like the Oppenheimer and all that.
Okay.
He knew Oppenheimer, but he didn't know Cillian Murphy.
That makes more sense. But like Margot Robbie's.
He didn't know Selena Gomez either, or like any. It was crazy. It was bonkers. That's just it was just a funny thing that happened. But
What did you draw for Selena Gomez?
I drew a wizard, but like
The
a girl
Wizards
wizard.
of Waverly Place.
Yeah, that was the. What else am I supposed to do for that?
Only murders in the
Stuff
building?
that like a normie would know.
I mean, I guess the only other
It's
things
just
they'd know
wizards
is that
and
and
her music
music.
career.
Yeah,
But like I got Miley Cyrus and I did the Wrecking Ball, and he got that one
you
right
got
away.
that one. And that was like 12 years ago.
that was a very like that was huge when it came.
Yeah, well, that
That
was
was a pop culture moment.
God. Remember at Fox News when that happened?
Oh, they lost it. They
lost their
went
marbles.
cuckoo crazy town.
Yeah.
I love it when they go.
There's
Remember
nothing
when
better than
M&Ms
Fox News on a random Tuesday.
It's gotta be so easy to work there. You just have to like.
Well, it's
make
gotta be
up
easy
stuff.
to like come up with stories. All reports are everyone who works there is terrible.
Well,
so,
if,
like,
not if you're a man.
that's true.
It's just if you're a woman.
If you're a woman, it's bad.
But if you're a man who works there,
Then Jesse
it's gotta
Waters
be so
might
easy.
cheat on his wife with you.
You just come up with like, yeah, we're mad because Spider-Man's hair is the
Pink.
wrong color.
Yeah.
And that's bad. Like it's so easy.
Remember when they ran news stories about Superman's son being bisexual?
Remember when Tucker Carlson endorsed using red lights to like sun your balls to like make you more manly? That's real. Look, you can look into that. I believe it was like Tucker Carlson red light
like
therapy.
2 months ago
was the segment.
Remember like 2 months ago where he went to Russia and was just like, look how clean the subways
Look
are.
how cool Vladimir Putin is. that was so funny. I mean, it was kind of scary for like democracy, but it was kind of silly.
It's because he
for
killed
the
all
world.
the. It's because he killed all the homeless people.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Alrighty.
It should not be this hard.
What do we got here? Oh, Dune Messiah confirmed. That's good.
We knew
That's
that
cool.
was happening. We know he's gonna make another movie with Warner Brothers after that, but Dune Messiah is gonna be his next thing. So he's gonna wrap that up, and then he's gonna work on.
What
some
do you
other
think the
stuff.
turnaround time for that is? They already have a script now.
They're working on it now. 2020, maybe late 2027.
I think 2027 is a.
I mean, they got
is
2 was ready last year,
but
and
I
that was
think
like
they
a
didn't they
2-year
make them back
turnaround.
to back, or they made them like very
No.
close.
They didn't make them back to back. That was kind of what was weird. But that was kind
Oh.
of crazy about it. So I mean, if they could turn it around that fast, I mean, I'm guessing they could do this one in like the same amount of time.
Well, this one is going to require a lot more sets than Desert.
They have to build some sets.
Because for the last 2 movies, they could pretty much get away with one building and desert.
They have to build some other stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 years is a little more realistic. And also, Dune Messiah is like Dune Part 2 is like all the same stuff.
Yeah.
Dune Messiah, you go to other worlds and
There's other things
stuff
happening.
going on.
Yeah.
I mean, he's gonna have to change that book a lot. I don't envy his.
I
adaptation.
haven't read it yet.
You read the first one, or you listened to the audio?
I did read the first, or yeah, the audiobook.
I bought it.
I
It's
have
sitting on a shelf.
I have fully ingested the book.
I've ingested the book.
I mean, I don't know how else to, yeah, I didn't technically read it. But
Al-Gaib.
I now have all the knowledge of the
Lisan
book in my
Al-Gaib.
brain, so I basically read it.
He sees.
He knows the ways
He
of the
knows
book
the
without
ways
reading
of
it. But yeah, I'm excited for Dune Messiah.
Imagine
Dune
explaining.
2 was awesome.
Imagine explaining to someone 10 years ago that Lisan Al-Gaib would become an internet meme, like to a guy who read Dune.
I mean, that's how I imagine it was for like Lord of the Rings fans.
That's true. When Lord of the Rings came out.
When Lord of the Rings came out, it's
where
like
it became like a thing that people knew.
suddenly all their inside jokes were now like common knowledge. Although Lisan Al-Gaib wasn't even like an inside joke in the Dune. The Dune community has basically just didn't exist.
Well, the book has always been.
The book has always been popular, but
It's not like a thing that people were always discussing.
people weren't reading it for fun. It was a book that they were told to read in class, like for the longest time. And now they're reading it for fun.
Yeah.
Like the people when your book goes from being something people have to read to something people want to read, the way that the audience like gets excited about the material is completely different. Because they actually want to care about it.
Other news stories.
Matrix 5.
They're doing another Matrix.
Okay.
I didn't watch the last one.
I did.
Yeah, I know you did. Resurrections. No one remembers it.
I remember Keanu Reeves was in it.
That's true. He was.
Video game called The Matrix. In The Matrix.
I guess there was. Yeah.
So
the Wachowskis. Neither Wachowski is coming back because.
That's a good. That might actually.
Drew Goddard's gonna write and direct it. He's the guy who did Cabin in the Woods and Bad Times at the El Royale. He also worked on the Daredevil show for season 1. I have seen Cabin in the Woods. That movie is good. It's from a while ago though, and I don't know how well it.
I'm thinking of Knock at the Cabin Door. I haven't seen Cabin in the Woods.
I don't know how well he is a mesh with the Matrix though. I don't.
Okay, but if you made a Matrix movie that was like more horror-y, that might be really cool.
What is left to do with the Matrix?
A horror movie?
But like we've done 4, and the 4th one was about how there's nothing left to do.
There were robots, like like androids.
More of that, I guess.
Yeah, so like
Do you think Keanu's gonna come back again? I don't think he is. I think they're gonna try to do something.
If you pay him enough, he will.
If you pay him, he's voicing Shadow the Hedgehog. He'll do anything.
Okay, I have a conspiracy theory that no actor for the Sonic movies get paid. I think they
do it all for fun.
They're there for the vibes.
I would do it. Honestly, I would do a Sonic movie for free.
They're so fun.
They're so fun. What a weird universe we live in where that series of movies is actually entertaining
and like good
and enjoyable.
Like Sonic 1 and 2 are fun and good movies.
They're fun kids movies.
Yeah.
What a weird universe.
It's
like,
what are some better kids movies that have come out since Sonic?
Like recently?
Yeah.
Puss in Boots 2.
Puss in Boots 2 is really, really good.
Spider-Verse 2.
I would argue that's not really a kids movie. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Ninja Turtles.
Ninja Turtles.
Cartoon.
Yeah, but again, that was also more for like 5-year-olds.
They're going to do an R-rated live-action movie out of the last.
I thought that we already knew that.
No, they're doing a game of it too. We knew that.
Oh,
but they're doing a movie. I don't know about that. I don't think you can do a Turtles movie that only adults can watch. Like, in terms of money, I don't think that'll work.
Oh, kids are gonna watch it.
But not as many kids.
No, the same amount of kids.
I think parents are just gonna take.
Parents will go Ninja Turtle, yeah, sure.
I think they're gonna call it I think they'll just call it The Last Ronin.
It'll be called Ninja Turtles Ronin. Yes. Otherwise, no one's gonna know what it is.
What's that weird turtle?
They're gonna be like, why is the turtle killing?
Also,
put Ninja Turtles, they're like, oh, he's a ninja.
Yeah. I hope they should put him in the. You know what they should do?
Multiverse Ninja Turtles.
Well, they're gonna do that eventually, but everything's gonna get a multiverse. That's what they're gonna do with Ghostbusters, Nick. I was telling you this. That's where they're going with that.
Even who?
You bring in the girl Ghostbusters.
No one likes that.
And you bring in the cartoon Ghostbusters, and they all shoot their laser beams.
Basically.
But they're technically different.
But they're technically
in the continuity of the universe because they've had comic book crossovers with the other Ghostbusters in the comic books.
Yeah, those aren't real. Everyone knows comic books aren't real.
But that is where they're heading. That is what they're going to do next with Ghostbusters because they're going to need to. Because this one's not doing well, it's going to bomb, and they're going to need.
Which one's not? Frozen Empire.
Yeah, and they're going to need to throw something.
See,
at the
I said
wall.
Which one? Because I already. Well, that's a movie we saw.
Oh yeah,
we could review that.
No. I honestly, that review would be 2 minutes. It would be me going, they made another one.
Is it Kamal Nanjiani? Nanjiani was funny.
I was watching that movie. I was like, we got Kamal Nanjiani, we got Paul Rudd, we got Carrie Coon, we got Patton Oswalt.
And all the OG Ghostbusters.
Why are we not just doing a movie where they're Ghostbusters?
Why
are we doing this little genius girl's love story with a ghost lesbian? Why are we doing this?
They didn't even do
because they couldn't commit. Yeah. They didn't want to commit. So now they can back out.
They should have just committed.
No, they know.
Now that doesn't make any sense.
But most of the Ghostbusters fan base is old white guy.
And dude, okay, we
can't offend old white guy.
We already knew she was a lesbian. Okay. Let's be real.
But most old white guy won't know unless you explicitly tell them. So as long as they keep it
You know what?
vague, it's fine.
I argue Ghostbusters cannot become woke. It doesn't work.
Well, they already did it.
No, you can't. Like, it doesn't happen.
Like, they burst their, like, the internet's like, this is too woke. Like, its first big burst of that was for Ghostbusters.
Yeah, but because that was so
There are
big,
few...
Hang on. Because that one was so extreme, nothing they do now can
never be more
like
than that.
woke.
No, yeah. Because they did it, because it was...
They maxed it out. They
maxed it
did
out.
what they.
Honestly, that was
an
really
example
smart.
where the movie actually was like getting stupid.
That movie's bad for
Yeah.
other reasons than just that.
That there were women in it.
Other than the fact that the only concept behind it was, what if we did Ghostbusters again, but they're girls this time?
Yeah,
And
which is stupid.
Let's not think about adding anything else to it. Let's just have it be girls. That's it.
And we'll have like carnival ghosts.
And they'll be basically the same characters, but
They're
women
just
this time.
girls. They just are women now.
The dumbest part was their plan was to do that movie and then another all-male team, and then cross them over.
That's just, what are you
Just
even
do
talking
one
about?
team that's got like 2 girls, 2 guys on it, and then you don't have to worry
Just
about it.
don't do a reboot of Ghostbusters.
Well, that was during like we're all gonna do a cinematic universe thing.
Yeah, and everything has to be rebooted.
Everything has to be rebooted. Now we're at where everything has to be a legacy sequel thing.
Yeah, which is, I don't think
Which
it's
is
much
quickly
better.
burning itself out.
What else we got? I don't care about Star Trek.
They're doing...
Oh, Transformers and G.I. Joe is crossing over for real.
Can't wait.
Hey.
What are they gonna do? What does G.I. Joe do?
I don't know. What does Hydra do?
You mean Cobra?
What does Cobra do?
Easy.
What is Cobra?
No, but like...
Okay, let's think about what happens in the show.
Yep. Cobra's bad.
What was Cobra doing?
Bad.
Most of the time, they were just like hanging out
until G.I. Joe showed up.
Joe would show up and
Just
blow
start
them up.
shooting.
Like, what were they actually doing? Like,
Well,
there's
they
that whole
kidnapped-
episode
They kidnapped Sergeant Slaughter.
where they just hang out in their cabin in the woods, and then G.I. Joe shows up and blows them up. And as a kid, I was like, wait, they didn't do anything. Why are they blowing them up?
It's even better. The fact that most of Cobra is robots. There's like only like 3 real guys running it. It's just like 3 dudes being harassed by the entire United States military.
One screaming guy.
It's one guy.
One guy
it's
with
one
no
guy with
head.
obvious mental disabilities,
And
his
then
uncle.
2 like weird contortionist twins. And that's it.
and they're just being harassed by the military, who are just expending billions of dollars to just kill them.
And they've hired like the weirdest guys who have all committed to doing one insane bit. Like a guy who just
dressed like a WWE character.
like
and
WWE
shoot at this
wrestlers,
guy.
a ninja guy who just refuses to talk, even though his face isn't animated, so you could have him talk the most and it would cost
No,
you
isn't
nothing.
his face like burnt up?
Snake Eyes?
Yeah.
No, not in the recent stuff. He's just doesn't talk. And then there's the white Snake Eyes, who is like the same. He's just like his color.
Because they had
palette's
an
changed.
extra action figure, so they painted one white.
Yeah.
Like, this is the bad Snake Eyes.
G.I. Joe is so good.
G.I. Joe.
It's literally just made to make America's Army seem cool and sell action figures.
They
And
did
that's
it.
It has no
It
substance
has
at all.
no. I love the fact that it's been 40 years and we're still exploiting these 80s toy lines that had like 2 hours worth of thought put into them
And again,
40 years ago.
like, okay, when people are buying toys, and that's a big market, this makes sense to do.
yeah.
No one's buying G.I. Joe action figures. Or, what are you doing?
See, but you're thinking the corporate thinking behind it is, if we do this, then they will buy.
But
G.I.
that doesn't
Joe
work
action
anymore.
figures.
That did work for a long time, but that doesn't work
The
anymore.
other problem is that kids who are not really little aren't buying toys anymore,
Except Legos.
except Legos. But like, I think I brought this up on the podcast before, but a few months ago, I was listening to a roundtable with. There was like a Hollywood Reporter did roundtable with like a couple like minor studio executives, and one of them was Sam Register, who runs WB Animation, and he was talking about how they're learning is that like animation for really little kids, like 2 to 6 years old
There's no return on investment for that.
is doing really well, and they're buying toys. And then adult animation is increasing in audience, and that's doing well. What's struggling is stuff for the middle grades, like middle school, high schoolers.
Like I would say probably like 10 to
are
18.
no longer watching cartoons. They're all watching YouTube and TikTok.
Yeah.
Essentially. And so like those middle grade, like little boy toy lines that did really well in the 80s and 90s, like those groups aren't buying action figures anymore.
I think also the like types of toys people buy have changed. Cuz like
kids don't really buy,
like again, Legos still sell well, but like who's buying action figures?
The appeal of Legos has changed too.
But they still make a lot of sets for like that are just play sets.
Yeah. But I don't this like toys where like kids are like making stories out of them
is not so much a thing.
It's not really a thing anymore. Where like you would buy like,
except for like some video games are that way. Like with Minecraft, that is just
because that is a toy box. Exactly.
And like
so kids are doing what
Roblox and like Fortnite are kind of in that same vein,
especially Roblox.
Yeah, where it is just kind of a modern day toy box.
Mm-hmm.
And in that sense, I do understand it. Like you make a G.I. Joe movie, people buy the Sergeant Slaughter Fortnite skin. Like that chain of capitalism makes sense, but like you're not buying the real Sergeant Slaughter.
Sergeant Slaughter's still alive.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
If he is, I want his autograph.
No, wait, because Fortnite is the streaming service of toys.
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's eating the middle.
Yeah, and now the toys are gone. It's Netflix.
Yeah.
They Netflixed physical
toys.
Physical objects.
Gotta figure out if Sergeant Slaughter's
crazy.
Do you think he would do an interview?
Sergeant Slaughter?
Yeah.
Probably not.
He's 75.
He's still out there. We can find him.
He's still around.
Does he have like a cameo or something?
He's retired.
Well, I would assume so.
I'm gonna look him up on Cameo later.
Maybe we can get him on the podcast.
Maybe we can get him for the podcast. He could be like our mascot. He could be our official spokesman.
Unofficially sponsored by Sergeant Slaughter from like the 80s.
Me and you don't care about the WWE.
We don't care about the WWE or really G.I. Joe.
We just remember him because he was in the first like 4 episodes of those 2 DVDs we had of old G.I. Joe episodes.
Yeah, we had the complete season 2 of G.I. Joe. No, he was in like every episode.
The whole Serpentor arc was all him.
Yeah, because he was
one of his genes to build the perfect.
They had like Napoleon, like every like great world
George
leader,
Washington,
and then also Sergeant Slaughter, the WWE wrestler. Like what?
I feel like if you put like all like the greatest dictators in a pot, and then also like
Dwayne the Rock Johnson. Like what? No, that
John Cena.
That show is so fun. Every time I think about that show, I think of that scene where all of the androids are like grabbing onto Sergeant Slaughter, and he just keeps running because he's stronger than the robots.
80s cartoons were just cracked out.
Good.
Well, because it was like that stuff like that would never happen today. Not because of like societal changes, but just because back then they were like, we have to make 65 episodes of television in a year and a half.
Yeah.
Like do not stop writing. And like the way shows work now where it's like 3 years to make 10 episodes, like there's just not that time constraint anymore.
Yeah.
Where back then it was just like, come up with something. We have to do something this week.
100 episodes.
Yeah, like literally shows would do like a pilot or like a proof of concept, and then they would literally get picked up, and the network would be like, okay,
we need 70 episodes by next
week.
week.
We literally need 100 episodes. Make 100 episodes, and they would just churn them out for literally like a straight 2 years, just nonstop.
It's crazy.
And now that would just never happen today. Yeah.
Not really. I mean, well,
shows don't even have like full seasons anymore.
Okay, some kids shows do, like Bluey, just going. What's going on with Bluey? What's up with that?
I saw that we had a big episode.
Yeah, because they sold their house.
What?
And because Bluey is apparently like actually like emotional, like everyone was sad because they were selling their house and the kids were.
Okay.
I haven't seen Bluey.
As a guy,
this is what I've been told about Bluey.
as a certified creep weirdo.
I don't think you should certify yourself as a creep. It's probably not.
He's wearing a Rocky 3 t-shirt and has a framed photo of Robin and Batman behind him. Getting sad about Bluey, a show for primarily 3-year-olds.
It's not for 3-year-olds.
It's primarily for 3-year-olds.
No, it's for like sad millennials whose parents weren't like Bluey's
It's been co-opted by people with no life in their mid-30s. But it's actually for children.
Yes, it is for like 6-year-old babies.
Please go watch something else. I know Bluey is cute and there's like nothing sad in it, or like it's not like dour. It doesn't have any.
It's probably like top tier background noise.
Find background noise that is suited for grown-ups. For people who can read.
Put on some CNN.
For people who can read. No, not even CNN. Put on a show written for at least a teenage audience.
What?
I don't care.
What shows are written
sitcom,
for teenage audiences?
A cartoon. A
different cartoon?
No, yes, a different cartoon. Put on Avatar The Last Airbender.
Put on Clone Wars. Well, but
put on Clone Wars.
You have to watch Avatar.
No, you don't.
Avatar's good. You can't put on something really good as background noise because then you'll want to watch it.
Fine. Put on freaking The Amazing World of Gumball. Put on the Looney Tunes
Gumball
show.
Works.
Put on literally anything for
There's
an
only 2
audience
seasons
older
of the
than
Looney
10.
Tunes show.
Put on Incredible Crew, the sketch comedy show.
No one has seen that, and I don't think it's on anything.
No, it's been deleted from
It's gone. It's
gone.
so sad because that show was awesome.
No, I have a feeling it's not.
No, because
I never want to watch it again because it'll ruin it.
I have
for me.
YouTubed some of those sketches, and they're still hilarious. Like the one where
the ones we remember. I never want to go back and like watch a full episode of it because I know it'll be bad and it'll like ruin my
like an edible
idea.
deodorant banger sketch.
The book sketch.
The book sketch banger.
Good.
The Barbies made of garbage banger sketch. Beards for her banger sketch.
I don't think you can make that one anymore.
We'll make it work. Just so many banger sketches. It's such a good.
It'll be like if I went back.
Such a good show.
You know how people who are like
Volcano Quake, Bliss Flange, Fire, Cane, Bees. I still say that.
Yeah.
To this day, and no one
not
ever knows what I'm talking
honestly,
about.
Okay. No matter how obscure I find people's interests, I know, no matter what,
we'll have
pulling
that.
out the Incredible Crew references.
We win.
No one will ever get them. We're good. We're set for life.
We're set for life on those.
We were literally the only human beings alive who watched that show.
Remember the board game that never ends because it has too many rules?
And
it's like hours and hours
and hours and hours and hours and years.
That show was ahead of its time. That show was like TikTok
that was
humor
made
before
for
it
TikTok.
existed.
That was literally made for TikTok, that show.
If we find the footage for that and we
gotta cut it up and
we just upload it to TikTok.
Oh my god, we can make bank. Oh my god. People would just lip sync. That would be a sound. The hours and hours and hours and years.
I think Incredible Crew might have more potential for TikTok sounds
than even
more
Young
than
Sheldon.
Any other show that's ever been made. There's so many good, like, clippable sounds.
Forget about all about your mom.
like the one scene where like the friends are like walking down the sidewalk and the one just keeps injuring themselves in horrible ways. He's like falling into potholes and like ladders are falling on him, and everyone else is fine. He's just dying. That show's so good.
Too bad you can't watch it anywhere. They'll never let you watch it.
It's gone. It's like it's been
well,
deleted.
it was during an era of Cartoon Network that they've purposely like covered up.
Yeah, because there were no cartoons.
Because they were like, what if we tried to be Disney XD? And then they were like, oh wait, bad idea.
Wait, people want to watch cartoons on the Cartoon Network? What?
Oops.
Oopsies, we made a bunch of sitcoms.
God, it's so sad that that's not going to be around in 2 years.
Gotta find it. We gotta find like a VHS or like a DVD of the show that was on.
Or like someone's old DVR that's still on episodes.
Someone has it. It has to be out there. It can't be lost media.
Maybe like one of the writers has like a copy.
Maybe.
And we can track
I wonder if we could email them. That has worked for me before. I emailed the back when I was at high school and we were doing duo interp.
Was it the Gravity Falls episode?
No, that actually didn't work. He never responded, which I didn't expect him to. But for
what's he doing, by the way?
I don't know.
He's done anything in like 8
Cartoons, I
years.
guess. But no.
Dude, get to work, Alex Hirsch. What are you doing?
No, we emailed the director of Darkest Dungeon.
Right, yeah.
And he gave us a full copy of the script that we used to cut for our like piece that we were doing.
Look that movie up if you're looking for a good time. Darkest Dungeon.
It's the movie, one of the movies of all time.
I mean, we can't say anything bad about it. The guy responded to your email.
Yeah, he was actually really bad because we kind of made fun of it.
Well, I'm sure he knows
His
now that
movie
it.
was
He probably
made a
knows
silly,
that.
goofy movie. Yeah. What else we got?
Anything else you want to yap about?
Let me see if there's anything. Oh yeah, so
Remember that
Apple's
One Punch Man movie.
Oh yeah, One Punch Man movie. How about
Dan
that?
Harmon's gonna write it or co-write it.
Yeah,
Justin Lin's gonna direct it.
Low key.
Not a bad creative team.
The creative team behind it, I think, are the right guys to do a One Punch Man movie.
Yeah,
Like,
sure they've called Steven Yeun.
you have Fast and Furious people in it, or working on it.
Well, it's all Community people.
And Community,
It's all Community guys.
which is like,
it's Dan Harmon. I think the other writer is from Rick and Morty.
yeah, which is like,
Which was
normally I'm like, oh my gosh, another Rick and Morty, right? But like, this is very much like in like sort of parodying of the superhero genre type space. It's kind of like I see it as like the opposite of the what if Superman was evil trope. It's the what if Superman was just really bored and normal. What if Superman wanted to go to Walmart?
How long is the first season of one?
12 episodes.
They're all like a half hour.
They're like 20 minutes. And the animation is phenomenal.
I will potentially consider watching one.
And it has a dub, and the dub is really good. No,
Maybe I'll
One
think
Punch Man
about
is
it.
so good. It's
Maybe I'll think.
and the
Maybe I'll break my sacred no anime rule.
and the writing is genuinely clever. There's a lot of like really funny ways that they parody like other superheroes. Like they do a great job of parodying like superhero villains, I think, more than even the heroes. Like there's an evil doctor who like makes animal hybrid creatures, but they're all like really stupid. Like one of them is just a gorilla that has a robot body, but he put a gorilla head on it because the gorilla wasn't like good enough for anything, so he just kept the head and left nothing else. There's a guy who just loved crabs so much that he turned into a crab man.
Like he didn't do any science to himself?
No, he just turned into a crab guy because he really liked crabs. And there's another guy is the same thing but with cars. And he just turned into a half car, half man.
Trying to find
I think it's on Netflix. If
No,
not,
I'm trying to find the news article.
Oh, yeah, because I haven't heard much about this.
One Punch Man movie. Let's see. And Lynn's gonna direct, of course. Glad he has rid himself of having to do those Fast and Furious movies.
Finally, he's free.
No longer has to work with
Here we go from Deadline.
Vin Diesel.
Okay, it's Sony Pictures.
Okay. But I like the people doing it so much, I'm ignoring that part for now.
That's true. They've hired the right guy.
They've hired, which normally Sony never does.
They don't do that.
Normally, their first call is to Matt
Hire all of the
Sazama
worst guys.
and Burke Sharpless. That's usually, for some reason, they're first on the list.
But I think they know how. This show was insanely popular when it came out.
Yeah, I remember when the
first
season
season reached levels of like popularity, especially in the West, that I don't think like very, very few shows I think have captured.
Like, honestly, if I had to like
it is the only anime
trace the
comedy
start
series.
of the recent anime boom,
it was right around
it
that
was
time.
probably One Punch Man that around is when it kicked off.
I think it is.
I think that and when a lot of stuff hit Netflix and it.
Yeah, because it came out right around the same. And this is insane, but it came out right around the same time as the first season of SAO, or Sword Art Online, which is really when the big anime boom started. That was what most people pinpoint as the start of the most recent anime boom. But I think it is the only anime comedy series that like the West really enjoyed.
Yeah, I think that's just because it's got that superhero angle. It's just got like such a broad appeal because there's obviously it came out during the absolute heyday
Of
fever dream of
superheroes.
superhero stuff where like that was able to translate.
And I think
to the American
today,
audience.
honestly, maybe even more than it came out, it's aged really, really well because we keep getting what if superhero dark and
Yeah.
Hates life. But then this one is like, what if superheroes like have to do their laundry? But then the washing machine doesn't work, and so he's got to go fix it.
I
And
can't wait for 5 years from now we're getting what if superheroes had to use the bathroom.
No, that is this show.
Like we just keep having to stretch the premise. It's like, what if superheroes had to go to Taco Bell?
And he has like a sidekick called Genos, who is like one of the top 12 strongest superheroes in the world. And he's the only one who knows that like the main character is like the strongest guy ever. So he's following around this what everyone else assumes is like some random guy. And so everyone's like, why do you work for this like guy? It's like if Tony Stark was working for like the local janitor. Like, what is going on? It's a great show. I'm glad it's getting a movie. I think this could adapt really easily to live action. I mean, the scale, it's going to be insanely expensive if they do it like properly.
Okay, well, it's probably getting a Madam Web budget.
Yeah, I don't.
No, I don't think it will. I think it'll get. I mean, Justin Lin, like, his Fast and Furious movies made a lot of money.
If this has a Fast and Furious budget,
I think it'll get a Fast and Furious budget.
And if I think that would be phenomenal.
Not current day Fast and Furious where they're like blowing $600 million on cast salaries.
Yeah, like 2015 Fast and Furious, maybe
5 years ago.
Yeah,
reasonably priced.
If it has like a $200 million budget, I think
there.
that's the sweet spot.
I mean, I don't know. It definitely could do well. I don't know how big it could be.
If they capture the audience of season 1 of One Punch Man, I think it would be great.
People love anime. People love anime right but
now.
People hate anime adaptations.
But the One Piece one was good, so now people kind of like them.
That's true.
It's the perfect time.
One Piece one, unless another one comes out and everyone hates.
And again, I think also because it is such a juxtaposition to like The Boys, Invincible, all the other dark superhero parodies, I think now's the perfect time for it to come out. I think it's
the superhero parody genre is expanding.
Yeah. And this is like an anti-parody almost.
Yeah.
Which I think is just a fun concept.
Now, some would say an anti-parody is the original work that the parody is parodying.
Yeah. Well,
but now we're at
because it keeps the tone, or like a kind of a hyperbolic version of the tone of like normal superhero stuff. It's just this one character that they introduce to the story that like makes everything unserious. Because every other character in the show treats what's happening as the most serious thing that has ever happened. And then a random bald guy shows up, flicks it, and it explodes, and then everyone's confused. And then he goes and he gets frustrated because his favorite grocery store doesn't have the type of fish that he wanted. Great. It's great.
This and Naruto both got...
That Naruto movie's never coming out.
But they both hired like the right guys to do it.
Yeah, they hired the Shang-Chi guys. That's the right guys.
Yeah.
I think
could anime adaptations be good now?
So okay.
Have we reached that point?
One Punch Man there is not a lot of plot to One Punch Man. It's very much like we're doing a silly thing now. Like every episode is like a new silly thing that's happening until like the last episode, then serious stuff happens. But like most of the show is very silly things. So you can adapt that to a movie very easily. Because you don't need...
You just skip to the serious.
Yeah, you just skip to the serious stuff. I will say, if you do end up watching it, my favorite episode, I think, is it's 9 or 10. You'll know because of the fish guy, the gay fish guy is attacking. You'll know who I mean when you watch the show, if you watch the show. Because that's the episode...
If I do, it'll be in several months.
That's the episode where Moomin Rider, who is a guy with no powers, who just
I'm aware
has a bicycle, and that's it.
Yeah, he's always showing up late because
he shows up to fight this guy who has killed like 3 of the strongest superheroes in their world, and he tries to fight the guy, and like the whole crowd that the guy's about to kill are like, they're like, "You can do, we believe in you," and he just gets like, poof, it's poof, done. But it's like you'll know it when you see it. It's such an emotional scene. It's very good. It's genuinely a very well done scene. I think this could totally work as a movie because you can cut so much out and keep so much of what makes it special.
Who's your pick? Who you want playing One Punch Man? Who's your guy?
For One Punch Man?
It's Sony, so they're probably going to call Tom Holland. I said Steven Yeun. I'm pretty sure they're going to call Steven Yeun.
He's
probably
going to
be an Asian actor.
Silly.
He can do silly.
When does he do silly?
Beef was kind of silly.
I haven't seen Beef. I don't know.
He's done comedy before.
It's got to be like the straight. He's a very straight man character.
That's true. Yeah, he's not very jokey.
No. I mean, like Saitama is a very straight.
No,
man
I'm
character.
saying One Punch Man's not.
Yeah. I don't know. Say some actors, because I don't know. I don't keep their names on the top of my brain.
I feel bad for doing this.
You're gonna Google fan casts of Saitama?
You know what? Yeah, let's do that. That's better than what I was gonna Google, which was just Asian actors.
Yeah, that's probably not the best option.
Yeah, but that's what the studio.
Because you wouldn't have to do an Asian actor necessarily.
I feel like they're gonna want to because it's an anime.
Well, it doesn't take place in. It takes place in like a fictional world, so like where there's no countries. It's like all one continent, and they're just designated by city.
What's this guy on Reddit? Who's this guy on Reddit want?
Give me some names. I'll say if they're good or bad.
Why have you fan
We're only
cast
at 140. We're good.
Why have you fan cast everybody but One Punch?
Well, who else? Who is he saying?
I don't know any of the characters' names.
You know what? I want Willem Dafoe as the fish guy that I was talking. He would be so good as that fish guy. I don't remember the fish guy's name.
Yeah, this guy's fan casting K-pop people. That's probably
that might work. Like a K-drama actor. I don't know any K-drama actors, but I know the vibe of K-drama.
I don't know any of these people. It'll probably be someone mildly famous.
I'd say for Geno, the robot guy. Honestly, I would want Hayden Christensen as Geno. That's gonna sound insane.
He's not working.
That's gonna sound insane.
Get him for cheap
to people who like know One Punch Man. But I actually think Hayden Christensen would be a hilarious Geno, even though Geno is supposed to be like 19 or whatever.
You know what I don't like? You know how on the internet, like celebrities just get a week of resurgence where we all like tweet about how much we love them.
Mm-hmm.
I would like for somebody to actually hire Hayden Christensen for a job instead of just spending all day on Twitter tweeting about how much they love him as Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah, what has he done?
He's just been doing Anakin and stuff. Like he was in Obi-Wan.
Hasn't he done some like indie movies and stuff?
Not recently, really. Like I think someone should hire him for a job.
I mean, he probably has.
Like
he's probably set. He probably doesn't need to do anything.
I don't know.
It's Star Wars.
Those royalty checks are just cashing in from Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, he can just invest in stock market and then
I feel bad for Star Wars actors because like there's always the trio, right, in each trilogy.
And then they never get jobs after that.
One of them always gets a bunch of work and the rest of them don't. Harrison Ford
got the first a bunch of work, and then
for the first three
didn't really do
Mark
anything.
Hamill, Carrie Fisher didn't do a whole
Well, Mark Hamill's done a lot of voice acting, but not a lot of
and Carrie Fisher's had a couple of minor roles and stuff, but she never like Harrison Ford was the movie star out of that.
Yeah.
And then the prequels,
which is sad because he was the only one who was like already.
The prequels is kind of an exception. Natalie Portman and Ewan McGregor both did.
But they were both already famous before that.
Not really.
Natalie Portman definitely was.
She was in Leon the Professional, but she wasn't like the
because she did a bunch of like super mega roles. After
she wasn't like critically acclaimed until probably like Black Swan.
But her trajectory was already.
She was already on the
rise.
up. Yeah,
she was already on the rise.
I think she got the highest. I think she was paid. No, Liam Neeson was paid the most out of the.
Yeah, because he was the only one that was like properly a full blown actor.
He done Schindler's List. But Ewan McGregor was an unknown. I think he had done Train Spotting.
I think he was famous in like actual theater.
He was known more overseas than he was.
Yeah,
but like he's done some stuff, especially recently. Ewan McGregor's done.
People like him a lot.
But Hayden Christensen, I mean, that killed his career.
His performance just wasn't great in the prequels, and so
everyone says he's great in that one movie that I've never seen. Everyone says he's great in Shattered Glass.
I haven't even heard of that movie.
He plays like an accountant or something. And then
I bet he's a great accountant.
And then in the new trilogy, Oscar Isaac's been in literally everything.
But he was also like super famous.
He was he was doing stuff before Star Wars.
He was in X-Men before.
Which because
he was doing huge stuff.
He wasn't even supposed to be alive for the Star Wars movie.
Yeah, they just liked him. He came back. Yeah,
which is you can tell because they
didn't make any sense that he came back.
And then Daisy, poor Daisy Ridley, man.
I do feel she's actually really
good. Can we
good.
hire her for something?
And because her performance,
she's so charismatic.
Great. Was she just?
Why is she not in more stuff?
What's going on?
She's in like.
She's great.
Someone hire her.
We'll hire you. We'll hire you.
You want to work on our podcast?
Want to host the podcast with us?
We won't fly you out. You could drive out.
we could
We can drive to North
We
Texas.
could we could zoom you.
We can zoom you in.
We could zoom you in.
If you got time. I mean, you're doing another Star Wars.
But like that's not for a few more years.
Can we hire her for like a Marvel or for a DC? Or for like a
You know what?
Quentin Tarantino
She
movie?
would be a great Wonder Woman.
That's not a...
I think she'd be a great Wonder Woman.
Get the bulk up.
She could bulk up.
How tall is Daisy Ridley?
And she doesn't have to bulk up a whole lot because Wonder Woman's not super like buff. They've kind of buffed her up more recently, but that's like traditionally she's like basically a normal looking woman.
How tall is? Because Gal Gadot was like a tall.
Yes,
woman.
but Gal Gadot is very tall. Wonder Woman does not necessarily have to be that tall.
5'7".
She could do it. 5'7's good for Wonder Woman.
Gal Gadot was 5'10".
Yeah, that's not. Give her boots like a lift.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, she'll get those boots.
Yeah, so you're good.
Yeah, she would not
She'd be a great Wonder Woman.
terrible. That's not a terrible pick.
Yeah, I think she could be a good Wonder Woman.
But like, I'm just saying, like, get her in a Spielberg. Get her in something.
Get her somewhere where she
Get her in
can
a
like
Paul
really
Thomas
show
Anderson.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even like a get her a director with a name.
Yeah, get her a real director.
Get her a real director. Get her not J.J. Abrams.
Yeah. Heck, get her in Ryan Johnson, but like a different one.
Get her in freaking The Next Night.
Yeah.
That.
She'd be great in that.
She's in Murder on the Orient Express, but no one remembers.
No one's all that.
We're good. Get her in the next.
And she was also in the River Nile one. No, that was Gal Gadot.
That was Gal Gadot.
Yeah, see, now I'm confused.
Get her in the next Knives Out. I would like literally every actor to be in Knives Out, though. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it'd be great.
No, my dream is.
I want Ryan Reynolds in the next Knives.
No, I don't want Ryan Reynolds in the next Knives Out.
Okay, but imagine
Because then it just becomes the Ryan Reynolds show.
Just have him in a very minor role.
Becomes the Ryan Reynolds show.
No, make him like
Make him like the anti-Benoit Blanc.
You could do that. He could be like a rival detective. And he
because Benoit Blanc's all hoity-toity and like Southern or whatever.
Yeah.
And Ryan Reynolds could be like a goofball, like
a goofball New Yorker. Yeah, that'd be great.
I like this.
Okay, what were we talking about though? Daisy Ridley. Oh, John Boyega. He was in the Pacific Rim too.
No. There was no Pacific Rim 2. I refuse to believe that.
He was in a lot of protests in 2020.
That is true. Good for him.
And it's not a lot of other things, really. He voice in some Star Wars content?
No, he doesn't want to. He's going to be in the...
He'll keep doing Star Wars.
They're going to get him back. The only one I don't think will come back is Oscar Isaac. Just kidding.
Well, actually, no, because I think John Boyega was like, "Oh, I don't."
He says he wouldn't want to do a Disney Plus show, but I'm like, they call you for that movie. He'll probably do it.
Yeah, he could do another.
And also, like, movie. He's force sensitive. Rey's starting a Jedi school.
It works.
It would make sense that he's there.
He could be a Jedi Knight in the new.
Be in training or whatever.
I think with the time gap we have now, he's got to be like a Jedi, like a full Jedi by the.
What is the time gap? It's only been. Okay. Yeah. It's gonna be weird that the time gap in movie is larger than the 4.5-year time gap that's been real life.
It feels like it's been 10 years though. But that's because we haven't gotten a good Star Wars movie in a long time.
2020 was 9 years long.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
Yeah. That's not because of real life. That's because of the nightmare that was our lives.
Like if we're counting like since the last good Star Wars movie we got, that was like 2015.
Okay, well that was 1983.
No, Rogue One was good. That's 2015.
2016.
2016.
Remember when they were doing them every year? That like
for like 2 years and like gave up on that right away. Yeah.
For 5 years we had them every year.
No, we didn't.
What a time.
They didn't even make 5 movies. Oh yeah, Solo. I forget Solo exists.
I love that they keep saying they're gonna like stick to this plan of like we're gonna do one every 2 years, and then they just
don't
because their plan. I think back. No,
it was Avatar, Star Wars.
The original plan
Avatar,
was
Star Wars.
we're going to do an episode movie anthology, episode anthology.
Well, that was the new plan after the Avatar plan.
And then Solo bombed, and they were
Yeah.
like, we're scrapping that plan, and we're also not doing any more episodes. And they're like, okay, actually, we still need to make Star Wars movies, so we're going to go do more anthologies, but we're not going to call them a Star Wars story anymore. We're dropping the moniker. We're just going to still do other stuff. But
and then Disney Plus came out.
We got 4 Avatar sequels coming out, so now we're going to do Star Wars movie, Avatar movie, Star Wars movie, Avatar movie.
And those never got made.
But we can't get any Star Wars movies off the ground, and James Cameron is taking 85 years for every Avatar sequel for no reason. So we got to delay those too. So now that's all messed up. Now I think Avatar 3 is not supposed to come out until like 2026. I don't even know anymore. It's supposed to come out this year.
It might.
It's not coming out. No, it's already been delayed.
Why?
No, it's 2020. It's next year now.
Okay, that's reasonable. When was the? When did
It's
Avatar?
next year, and then I think there's a 4-year gap in
Came
between.
out in
that and the next
2022,
one.
right? Avatar: Way of Water.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a reasonable 3 years for an Avatar.
Shot it in like 2018.
We're
was like
not
6 years
talking
ago.
about that. That's not
Because I remember when they announced
important.
all the big push packs, Zoe Saldana put on an Instagram post where she was like, "I'm gonna be like 50 by the time we get to the last one."
Remember how she's playing like a 5-year-old now or whatever?
No, that's Sigourney Weaver.
Oh yeah,
Sigourney Weaver might be dead by the time they get to the last one.
You better wrap this
gonna
up.
be. I am genuinely concerned James Cameron's gonna be dead.
He's
by
gonna
the time
George
we-
R. R. Martin himself.
What is George R. R. Martin?
Not writing his book.
Bro, get to work.
He has 4 more books left, by the way. It's not like he's doing
He's
the
got
conclusion.
one more. Yeah, he's got several left.
He has 4 more left.
You don't have to.
He's titled them. We have the titles for the other books, but he hasn't. He's still writing The Winds of Winter, which is the next one.
Dude.
What was that movie with Adam Driver where they're in prison and they're like escaping?
The heist movie?
Yeah.
Logan Lucky? That
Yeah. There's a joke in
that
that
movie's really good.
That movie is really good. There's a joke in that movie where the prisoners like take over the jail and they demand like a bunch of like silly goofy stuff, and one of them is the next Game of Thrones book.
That joke is still relevant.
And that joke is still relevant. That movie came out in like 2018. That joke still works. We're getting House of the Dragon season 2. Didn't we get a trailer for that since the last episode, or was that before the last episode?
I haven't seen Game of Thrones, so I don't.
You'd probably like it.
I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch it this summer. That's my plan.
Okay, you should do that.
Because I'm going to do that, and then I'll be watching it while season 2 House of the Dragon is airing, and then I'll catch up and try to get it to it by like.
You could honestly watch House of the Dragon first.
That's what you keep saying, but I'm concerned I can't.
You definitely could.
And also, I'll feel like a
I'll feel
like a fraud if I watched House of the Dragon without watching Game of Thrones.
A lot of Game of Thrones is like history. Like it has a very real feeling history to it. So to watch the prequel before the Game of Thrones would probably feel like very natural, honestly.
I don't know.
Like I don't think that would feel weird.
You see that the Jon Snow show?
It got scrapped, which I'm fine because that doesn't
apparently he was just like, we didn't know what to do.
So
I was like,
I guess slight spoilers for Game of Thrones. Which, I mean, I don't know if
I already know.
You want spoilers or...
I already know what happens because everyone was complaining about it for like a year.
At the end, he kind of just wanders off.
Yeah, he gets put in exile, right?
Well, no, he just like wanders off. And so it's like, well, okay, what do we do? Because the place he goes, he just wanders north. He goes north. Because metaphor. So he goes north. And there's nothing interesting in the north at this point because they've defeated the zombies, which were what made the north scary. So now it's just like a place to go. So yeah, what do you really do? Like, he made peace with all the like native northern guys. So that we can't really fight them. That wouldn't really make a whole lot of sense. So what does he do?
I think I think their pitch was, we're just gonna fix the ending of Game of Thrones. We're just gonna do another.
Well, they're still making the Arya show, and they're still making.
But I think
the other stuff.
What probably happened is they sat down. They were like, okay, well, we got Kit Harington back. Who else can we get back? And it was like not a lot of people. They were like, well, we can't really do more Game of Thrones if we can't get more people back. So then not really much we can do. And also, you killed Daenerys. You can't really fix that plot line. So like, what else?
Hang on.
There's nowhere to go.
She gets stabbed, and then the dragon grabs her body, blows up the throne, and flies away. So, if you want to go full stupid,
I don't think Emilia Clarke would do it.
You could bring it back.
Emilia Clarke wouldn't do it.
What's she doing right now?
It's not about that. She had a terrible experience working on that show. I don't think she
did.
Yeah, no, she's
she like written about it?
She's talked at length about how like they were just like constantly because she was naked half the and so they were constantly
for like the first season, and then she's like less.
But like she was constantly being like harassed on set, and like
that's bad.
People were commentating about how she like looked too fat for stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, she is. I think she has said at length. Did not have a good time.
But also, she's not doing anything and probably wants money.
You
Though.
telling me her character from whatever her character in Secret Invasion was is not coming back?
You're telling me that her
What's her name?
character in the
Gaia? Was it Gaia?
Gaia was the Skrull character.
Yes.
She was also in
She's
Terminator Genesis,
They
a
already
thriving
a
franchise,
franchise they had scrapped and then rebooted and then scrapped again by now.
and will probably reboot again.
Of course they will. That's how these things work.
Do you think
No,
that
they can't. They can't do it
They
because
can't?
Arnie's too old and you can't. They tried it without Arnie before and it did.
Oh no! We have technology now. And you know what? Because
and they've already done it in Terminator Genesis.
because he's a robot guy, you can extra
it's
get away
fine that
with
he
it.
looks weird.
Yeah, because he's supposed to be uncanny
Yeah,
valley,
it's fine. That's why he's a computer man.
so it double works for Terminator.
I honestly, if a studio came to me and was like, write another Terminator sequel, I would legitimately not know what to do. I could not think.
Do the war.
You can't do anything with it.
Do the war.
But what do you do with the war?
Do the actual
It's
war.
just people shooting at each other.
Make a
for an
gritty
hour.
war drama where they're fighting robots.
But the resolution to the war doesn't happen during the war. So like, what do you do?
They lose. They lose, and at the end of the movie, they send back the Terminator. You make a prequel of sorts, which would, I
Prequel,
guess,
sequel?
kind of, sort of also be a sequel.
Or an interquel?
It'd be weird, but you could do that. That is
No.
totally something you could do.
But also, like, that's not. Like, honestly, I'm surprised that James Cameron was even involved in the last one.
He was.
Like, very loosely. He owns the IP outright now.
I thought it like Arnold Schwarzenegger also owned part of it.
No, I think it's all Jimmy. I'm pretty sure Arnie's like, put me in, coach. And he's just like, fine.
Because didn't he like self-fund didn't Arnold like fund one of like the third one or something?
No, he got like half of the movie's budget. Went to Arnie.
Yeah, but like the
But-
point, like he's like a very integral part
Our
of it.
podcast dog is back.
Tina.
Gone, but now she's back. No, he owns the IP outright now, and it's like Terminator 2 is literally all about how like humanity is not guaranteed that existence,
Yeah.
and like it's no fate but what you make. And then they made literally like 5 sequels about how no matter what that happens. Like the franchise literally does not understand its own like intent.
Or its own like logic.
Like you can't, and you because you can't make another Terminator movie without undoing that movie.
That's why I think you have to. If you did the Future War as a prequel to the first Terminator,
But the fact that
I think you could do that.
is a future war
This-
undoes the first two.
This would take place, I guess, concurrently with the first movie.
or with the second movie.
It would take place. It would be part of that part of the movie.
Yeah, but like also what you can't really add anything. Like I guess you could
You make up characters in this.
you could
time.
like have Kyle Reese come back, I guess, or like in John Connor, but like
Yeah, you have John Connor's story, like his actual, because we keep being told like, oh, he's the guy, he's the leader, but we don't really get to
But we
see
don't
him do
really
any of
need
that.
to see that.
But if
It
we
doesn't
did, but we
matter.
could. We're not talking about things we need to see. We're talking about things that we could potentially.
And
do.
the other problem is, how does Arnie show up? There's no Arnold. Where does Arnold come in?
When he shows up at the end when we send him back.
Oh, that way we don't have to pay for the CGI for that.
Exactly.
One. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like you could totally do that. That's totally doable.
Wasn't that what? Hold on. Wasn't that what Terminator Salvation was? I think we might have just pitched Terminator Salvation.
Was that in the future? Was that the Future War?
I am pretty sure.
We'll look it up. We gotta find out now.
Already done it. Then what do you
Did
do?
did we remake a Terminator movie?
We accidentally pitched Terminator Salvation.
I don't think that. I think that was like
Gosh darn it! The internet doesn't work in here.
I think Terminator Salvation was like the beginning of the war.
Yeah, but if you're already showing that,
No, but I mean like the point that it's at the beginning of Terminator 1. Where like the
Yeah.
ground is covered in human skulls.
that's what Terminator's.
But that was like right at the beginning. I mean like full on the world is gone now. You
Literally.
do the war, you do war.
We did the war. Though.
But,
We're
like,
just doing more
the
war.
real part of the war that people saw in the part of the movie at the beginning of the first one.
They show a lot of that in the first one.
No, we get like one clip
In
of
the
it.
Terminator, there's a couple scenes that take place in the future.
There's like 2 scenes.
There's enough. Enough where you understand what's going on.
Yeah, but like to see more of that would be cool.
The good thing is none of them have made money since like the second one.
I
So
have
they're
it.
gonna stop trying.
I
at a
know
certain point.
I know the idea now.
Oh, you got it locked in.
Okay,
Pitch
here's
me.
what you do.
Pitch me.
So we're
Mr.
still taking
Executive.
place in future war timeline,
Uh-huh.
but we reveal
Mm-hmm.
that the Terminator in the first ones
Yep.
is controlled by a guy. And it's Assassin's Creed, but it's with Terminator.
You mean like there's a ghost in him?
No. There's a guy in the future controlling him in the past.
So dumb.
Yeah, but you could do
Even
it.
when he's a murderer in the first one,
Uh-huh.
like
You could do it.
I guess, yeah, you could. You could
Maybe
do
it's
that.
just Terminator 2. Maybe we don't do the first one.
He's reprogrammed. Like you don't need.
No, he wasn't actually reprogrammed.
That's what
Actually,
they said.
He was just given a neural
Is it gonna be like
connection.
is
to
it gonna
this
be like
guy.
John Connor in the future is really controlling him?
I don't know if I would want it to be John Connor controlling him or just like a guy. I think it would just be a guy.
Random.
Some other guy. We'll make up another.
You know, because him being a robot does not play into the themes of Terminator 2 at all.
No.
That's irrelevant. Terminator 2 is just a movie about robots shooting each other.
That's it. There's no thematic.
There's no
relevance at all.
metaphors. There's no themes. Nothing.
Yeah,
Just shooting.
it's like Fallout 76.
Fallout 76. I don't know what happens in Fallout 76.
So you know Terminator?
Yes.
That, but except for robots, it's government.
I think this podcast has reached its logical.
Nah, we can talk about more.
We could, but why?
I don't know. Why do we talk about anything?
This was the last episode. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I think we're done.
Yeah.
I do. Again, I have a thing in the morning. Technically.
We could talk about Billie Eilish and Fortnite.
No, we couldn't. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye.